Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have unfiltered, uncensored, uncomfortable conversation.
All right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. I don't know where this random background came from, but all right, let's introduce Quan.
What's up, bro?
Are you at the school?
Nah, I'm not at the school today.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes more sense.
This was your first background.
No, it wasn't. I added it later, but it wasn't my first background. But yeah, you're right. So why you still in my house, man?
You just let me borrow it.
Right. Okay. But I know Portia's going to be on a little bit later, and Maya will not be with us tonight. She's still out having some fun in the sun, so it's all good. I'm not going to hold her down for that. All right. But let's go ahead and start this thing like we always do. You watching it, man, this past week?
Nah, I've honestly, the only thing that I watch in regards to music education, bro, I watched Dr. Zachary. He had his first episode where he was basically addressing everything, what he's doing for his band program. First of all, shout out to him and happy homecoming to all my PV people. But congratulations to Dr. Zachary for, this is his mark of his 10th year. Being at Prairie View. And so they've been honoring him for his 10 years with the Storm. But I just watched that. And from my school, we're getting prepared for the national Showtime Battle of the Band in Beaumont, Texas.
Yeah, man. I definitely was gonna see, man, it's so crazy. It's so many things that I said I was gonna do, but then there were so many things that I committed to prior to.
Uh-huh.
So like I was supposed to be going to PV's homecoming this weekend. But I forgot that I committed to something like a month or so ago. So we have to honor that commitment, man. So I ain't gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Like I was hyped about going. Like we were getting all set to go, and then it's just not gonna happen. But that's just like the Beaumont thing. I was asked, was I gonna be there as well? And I have a prior engagement that I didn't think about. Hey man, you know what, man? I need to get a secretary.
You have one?
No, I don't. I don't have a secretary at all. No, I don't. I got to get a secretary. I got to get somebody in here to say, hey, Mr. Luke, you want me to write down your schedule? I need something like that, man.
Boy, Camille will kill you.
Absolutely. But yeah, because I make commitments and then turn around and I smitty myself. But no, man, that Beaumont thing I was actually looking forward to it, man, because there's gonna be a lot of good groups out there. And then I ended up seeing that y'all were going too. So I was like, man.
Yeah.
But no, congratulations to y'all, man. I know y'all gonna do great things, man. I honestly haven't watched any band stuff either. Like this week has been like a crazy week for me. So the only thing I know for a fact that I saw was just a lot of homecoming stuff for the most part. And shout out to Justin. I gotta give a shout out to Justin very quickly. Jay States homecoming was this past weekend, and they did they parade, and he recorded the parade, and he tried to record the drum majors on Get Ready, because I know that I asked him to do that. I said, hey, when they do Get Ready, record the drum majors. You can go to them sets later on, but hit them drum majors. But they didn't do the actual routine. They were just calling count. So he kind of looked at him, and then he kind of moved away. But shout out to you for trying. And then their homecoming performance was really good. I mean, J-State is doing their thing, man. I can't even argue with them.
Don't they play Southern this week, right?
Yeah, I think this week is the Boombox.
Yeah, and they supposedly have a Battle of the Band on a Friday.
Yeah. So I think, and if I'm not mistaken, this is new for them to be doing. So I think it's pretty dope, man. I mean, keep it going. I mean, hey, and we got to do this again. Give a shout out to Coach Prime, bruh. Coach Prime had, what was it, Snoop?
Yep.
Who else was there? Dang, I had a whole list of people that was at that daggone homecoming, man. And then they had it all set out for him, man. I'm telling you, man.
Oh, Rick Ross was there.
Rick Ross, there we go. Rick Ross,
yeah, he was there.
So, man, that's just.
Oh yeah, Good Morning America. They were on that. Like, bro, you can say here in swag, and we're not diminishing anything, but from on this level, I don't think we saw this type of, I don't want to say hoopla, but type of press and media for the swag, bro, in years.
I can definitely agree to that. But here's my thing, and I completely agree. But my only problem is the love is going specifically to JSU, but it's not really going out throughout the masses of HBCUs in general. It's like JSU is doing this thing, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like this is what HBCUs are like, and this is what HBCUs are about, So that's my only gripe. Everything else, man, I'm just like, hey, have at it, man. You doing great things, you doing big things. So shout out to them, man. Jackson State, their homecoming. Southern's homecoming, I think, was last week as well. I've seen a couple of my partners out there doing their thing. I didn't watch the homecoming show though. That was the one thing. Like I said, it's just been a really weird week, man. I want to try to catch up and see everything this week, because I think didn't Alcorn play Southern?
I thought Alcorn played TSU.
Or was that? Okay, may have been. I don't remember. I think it was Alcorn and TSU, because I think Southern didn't have nobody at that game. So
no, I don't think so.
So yeah, man. And this is also weird because Magic City Classic, Boombox, and PV Homecoming is all at the same time.
I say this though. I think at the end of the day, like, people don't want to hear it, but if you really want to create revenue in the swag, you got to start paying attention, and they need to really start meeting about their games. We spoke about Coach Prime, but I say this, the one thing that he said, I looked at his 60 Minutes interview, and I looked at a few other interviews. One thing that he's pushing corporate sponsors. The only difference between Coach Prime and everybody else is Coach Prime is using his NFL Hall of Fame cachet to getting those doors. My thing is this. I think, and I had a conversation with the director of a university, and when we spoke, we basically said that some of this, like, you got to learn how to play chess. Like, we know that some of these corporations, there are Republican supporters, and it's not to make things political, but they're the ones that's giving the money. I mean, I don't want to cross over and talk about this, Kanye West conversation, but if you look at solidarity means something, bro. So we should really, honestly, if you look at the MEAC is not the MEAC of the old. Why not the presidents of the MEAC come together and be like, man, let's make this super conference and let's call it a day, and ensure that all of us have corporate sponsors and all of us are able to at least travel amongst each other, you know what I'm saying, amongst the country. Because if not, bro, it's gonna be tough for us. It's gonna be tough, and I think it is already.
I don't think that's gonna happen with the MEAC, because I think there's a pride thing that is kind of swimming around in there. Like, they don't want to let go of actually, they don't want to let go of the baby. They baby. This is the thing that this is the we to me act, but nah, it's tight, bro. That joint is gone. It is
a SWEAC conference would go over a whole lot better. You feel me?
a we act. All of us. We act. Everybody.
I like SWEAC. I like SWEAC though.
You like SWEAC, but the SWAC ain't gonna let that go.
Why?
If it was a super conference, the SWAC ain't gonna stop being called the SWAC.
But for that money, but that's the thing. It's like, look at most corporations. Think about it. Remember when think about it, we used to have Sprint. We don't have Sprint no more. We used to have Nextel. We don't have it no more. It's T-Mobile now.
Right, but I think so. You're talking from a business perspective.
Yeah.
Which on that no, but what I'm saying is on that point, I 100% agree.
Yeah,
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the people in the SWAC. The we ain't he ain't SWAC folk ain't gonna let the word SWAC go.
and that's stupid.
And that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because you're talking about a Sprint and Nextel, people ain't care about the carrier that much. They as long as my bill low and I can call if I'm in Texas,
yeah,
then that's what matters to me. You know what I'm saying?
But guess what? Here's the thing though. But now you're talking about having more revenue for better facilities. Now it's like again, now, and I know it ain't gonna happen, but I'm wishful thinking, Justin. My whole point is at the end of the day, when are we gonna look at the forest instead of the tree? The tree is prideful. The tree
again, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But we for missing mine, we the blacks.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? I think the conversation that we're going to have tonight is going to actually spread into this conversation because I think that we as a people, we shoot ourselves in the foot a lot of the times. And we'll talk about that. So with that being said, before I move, man, I do want to say this. I was looking on one of my former students' page, and they put up something that I just kind of wanted to bring up very quickly, and just kind of get your thoughts about it, and the viewers and listeners. And I say listeners because the people who listen to the podcast, but he put it's kind of weird. It's a kind of a weird flex how parents stop their kids from joining band because they think it's lame. Number one thing I don't like is a parent who wants to control their kids' lives because they life became poo. Like I just did a census on how many band students succeed versus every other sport and activity, and it's scientifically proven that band students are more successful and generate more scholarships than any other program and have a higher retention rate. So with that being said, let your kid join band and stop calling band lame. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, we deal with it every day, bro. Like, let's be honest. Most kids, we have a lot of kids, their obstacles is actually their parents. Honestly. Some of their downfall is their parents. From a biblical perspective, we could say the sins of the father fall on the son. Like some of the barriers or limitations that a parent has, you can bleed that into your children because you think, well, I can't do it, so they can't do it. And honestly, we end up stifling or stunting the growth of that particular child. Man, it happened every day, bro. Think about how many children be like, well, my mama said come home. Well, why? I mean, they just say come home because they feel like that's not important. Again, my parent support was just like that until I had to start talking about numbers. That's when I started talking about, well, this person I had one student over a year, they received over $100,000 worth of scholarships from various universities. When I posted that and showed those papers that said your student 20,000, your student 10,000, your student 17,000. That's when parents was like, oh, y'all for real? Oh, y'all serious about this, like this band stuff? It's a 4-year investment to ensure that you don't have to pay. But a lot of them don't see it that way, bro.
Well, I 100% agree on that. But I also brought this up. Well, I had been posting this in random places, right? And I don't know. Today might be a day where I may get in trouble. I may be the Rick of today. Speaking of which, shout out to my brother, man, because he came through and he saw me this past weekend, man. It was only for like 10 seconds, but he still stopped by the crib.
Hold on 1 second, because I'm about to do a Rick. Just remind me, say, what was that thought?
Okay, let me I'm gonna write it down on my little joint here. All right, but I honestly think that we have an unhealthy obsession with sports as a culture. I think we have an unhealthy obsession with sports, specifically football, when it comes to black men and football. In some cases, black women with their sons in football, because it's the idea of the fact that that's what makes you a man. That's what proves your toughness. That is inherently the male thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And so we push our sons to invest in football. And we as parents, not me, because my kid ain't in football, but as parents, we continue to invest in football because we see where it could take you, NFL, blah, 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 blah. But the percentages, we don't ever look at the percentages of that happening. And I think that we end up slapping ourselves because we don't think, well, my kid sucks. Like, my kid is like third string. He'll probably never see the field
of JV.
Right. But because he's playing football, because he's on the football team, because he has a pair of pads, you know what I'm saying, and a jersey, then he's in. So he has the availability and the capability, instead of saying, all right, this may not be for him. Let me find another avenue for my son. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a thing too. I think that we have an unhealthy obsession with sports, football specifically, than next basketball.
I agree.
So,
but I mean, it's a quick ticket. Glitz and glamour, that's what it looked like.
But glitz and glamour on a what level?
Glitz and glamour of the potential of that child, quote unquote, making it. That child, quote unquote, honestly taking care of them. Really want to boil it down to. And that's why I didn't forget my thought in regards to what you were saying earlier about who don't care about band. I'm gonna say this, and if it get me in trouble, I mean, it shouldn't. But from what I've seen, this particularly happens with more of our people.
Yeah, but by far.
Because when it comes to Hispanic students,
oh no, they in there. And they come in droves. If one is in there, they gonna bring their partner and their partner's partner. They gonna all do it at the same time. And they walk in, they be like, "What you gonna play, Mister? I don't know. All right, whatever. All right, here. All right, cool." And they gonna make it work. They just
and guess what? It's not about. And they're going to follow the instructions, and the parents are going to help you because you're bettering their child holistically. You're investing in their child holistically. I have, and just being honest, I deal with more of our people. Why he got to practice? Why he got to turn in the grade sheet form? Why he got to buy a mouthpiece? Why he got to buy reeds? Why they got to pay band dues? I thought the school got money. Why they got to pay for all this? Like, I deal with that. But the Hispanic people, well, I mean, I don't have a lot, but we can cook enchiladas. I mean, we can, they're trying to resolve. And again, this is not all parents. It's not all parents, but this is
percentages.
But you feel me? You feel like I have more Hispanic parents who was like, so what's the situation? What's the deal? Okay, could you let us know early enough time? We'll make sure. If that child says they want to do it, and also they make sure that their child doesn't quit either. Their child can't just be like, "Oh, I quit band." Why? Oh, and not hear from the parent. Mr. Mitchell, they said she quit, but she gonna stay here. I had a kid for 2 years playing trombone. He was trash, straight up. But I kept trying to invest, kept trying to work with him. I messaged the mother, hey, he not really pushing it. Okay, I'll speak to him. Another message, hey, he has great potential, but he not pushing himself. I told that kid, I said, hey, bro, if you don't come back and learn this scale, bro, like I'm gonna have to put you out because you can't make it on my field. He quit. I messaged the parent. I said, this child quit. She was like, yeah, thank you, Mr. Mitchell, for all what you've done. You accepted that. You accepted your child quitting. And my thing is, when a child learns that they can quit, that sets a trend that they could quit everything else in life. So, like, not being ugly, don't be mad when these young boys quit marriages. Don't be mad when these little boys walk off these jobs. Don't be mad like when we have a generation of kids that cannot endeavor through anything, any type of obstacle, obscurity. It's like, I quit, bro. Like, that's what we're dealing with in our community. It's easy to quit. Kids really, they don't want to be pushed. They want the option to quit.
All right, man. You preaching today. Don't make me start the church music now.
Nah, bro. I'm just saying. We say it was gonna be one of them shows. So
all right, well, then let's do it, man. Let's go ahead and get started because I know some of these folks are waiting on these topics, man. So welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy right now. As soon as you come into the door, just go ahead and smash that like button. That'll keep me from having to say it. I mean, I'm gonna say it over and over again, but hey, at least you would have already done it. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionates Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. Also, if you're watching us on Facebook, which is cool, appreciate you. Keep watching on Facebook. I don't have no problem with that. But you can come over to the YouTube channel. Just type in Real Talk That Talk, or you can type in Passionates Network. Either one, both of them work. And then you can subscribe to the network there and then turn on your notifications. So any one of those will work. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get to this. There are a couple of topics that I want to actually tackle. So I'm going to start from the top. I agree. So here we go. You brought up the thing with Dr. Zachary, and as a former student of his turned colleague of his, working with him at Prairie View. First of all, I definitely want to say super dope. Shout out to him. 10 years he's been there. You know, I am 100% behind him on that. One of the things that when I sat back and looked at it, I just kind of felt like it was weird.
What you mean?
And well, I'm gonna explain it. Give me time. Give me time. I felt like it was weird because I've known him since I was 18. God dang, I've known him for 20 years, Jesus. Anyway, but I've known him since I was 18. I've never really known him to really have to sit and explain a lot of things to people, especially in the sense of what he had to explain. Does that make sense? Maybe not. For those of you who did not see the video really starts talking about a lot of the complaints that he had heard in the past consistently. Some of the complaints that I remember hearing while we were at Prairie View. And I will stand on this. Everything that he said in his video is absolutely true. When we first got there, he literally took 100 days and we just observed. That is literally it. As a matter of fact, we did that so much that me and Rick would go around asking students like, hey, what are some of the traditions, here? What are some of the things that you guys do? We would ask these questions. We wouldn't interfere, but we would ask these questions, right? So he was absolutely right on that. But my thing was, I just never felt like he had to explain that. And I felt like alumni kind of push you to that point. Like, I have a problem sometimes with, and I'm an alumni, right? I have issues with certain things that happen in my band program. I'm a graduate of Willow Ridge and I'm a graduate of Norfolk State University. But I am not on any circumstance going to continuously complain about something when I see change. Change and growth happens. It just happens. So my first question is, do we owe alumni an explanation on everything?
On everything, no. I think being sincere, I truly applaud Dr. Zachary for what he did because he didn't have to. First and foremost, as being the honcho, I mean, that's the truth is, let's break it down for what it is. That's his band. Period. And I think the way he eloquently spoke, what he addressed was a high level of professionalism. But I'm gonna be real with you. I saw a little bit of ism where he was like, yeah, but I can really get with you, but I'm gonna let you make it today. You feel what I'm saying? Like I saw all of that in him, because at this point it's like, what else you want? We're graduating students at a high rate. Kids are getting jobs. We're preparing them for the free world. I mean, we're traveling. We're doing the same thing. We're just doing it in a different way. And it may be in a more efficient way. He didn't take nothing out. They still play the same national anthem, still playing ET, still do the PVMU. And I do appreciate what he stated, because I didn't know that it went from 8 minutes, because I remember when we did shows, it was 12 minutes.
Yeah, it changed. It changed.
That's a big difference, bro. So think about it. 2 bands, that's 16 minutes. So that may be 20 minutes of a halftime show when initially they had 30 minutes, like he stated. So we don't have to explain everything, but you do need allies, though. And I think that's when you have to learn how to play chess and not checkers. I think Dr. Zachary and other band directors that transition in that seat, they've done that well. But here's the difference, though. Most HBCUs, when they get a transition or a new installed band director, most of the times it's from that university. So I don't think Dr. Zachary would have endeavored through as much ridicule if he would have just, for example, taken the helm at Norfolk. I don't think he would have, because everybody would have knew his pedigree. Everybody would have understood who he was. And I think, who he is. And I think that's the difference. But also, look at the program that he inherited. That, I mean, as an alumnus of Prairie View, we had about what? Let me see. We got put out 9, 10, 11, 12. We went through a 4-year gap of transition at the collegiate level. That's hard. And he cultivated, brought you guys in. And the truth is, at that time, no one was Prairie View. So everybody was anticipating we're going to be completely different, which honestly, I was against it at first too. But you're going to go with hearsay with what the people that you march with. Oh man, they're going to change this. And I was like, man, they don't need to change that. And then when I started looking, I was like, nah, they're not really changing nothing. Nah, they really doing this. They're doing this pretty good. Nah, they really doing that pretty good. So then I sat down with Dr. Zachary in 2012 myself. And when I spoke to him, I was like, man, this dude cool. Like, what people tripping on? But that's when you have a different mindset and mentality, bro. I think that's different. So like you said, even though you may disagree with some things about how the Legion is being, certain things that they do, the bottom line is this. At the end of the day, you're mature, and also you're a band director. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just certain aspects that's different.
See, you ain't had to bring up that last band director part, because see, I do come from that perception and that vision of being a band director. And honestly, man, like, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I just think there's a sense of entitlement that I feel like a lot of alumni have, right? Like, it's nothing wrong with asking a question, but like you said, Quan, it's like you actually went and you had the conversation and you sat down and you talked with them. It bothers me sometimes when we just sit back and we just complain. Alumni just complain. Well, why they ain't doing it this way? Why ain't doing it that way? I remember when I was there, I rewrote a song. I can't remember what song it was. I think it was
Swang.
Yeah. I rewrote, and it was just like, well, why you couldn't play the original? And personally, I will answer it right now. But thank you. At the time, we didn't have no music. Wasn't no music in the library. And then because I ended up watching the conversations through different forums and things like that. And I'm like, but Yeah, they could have called somebody. No, why am I going to sit up here and try to play phone tag to try to get an arrangement when I could just hear it, pay homage to the fact that I'm going to try to rewrite it the best way I can in the format that it was, and still add a little bit to it to try to move forward. To me, I will never understand the sense of entitlement that a lot of alumni have.
But I think all alumni have that sense of entitlement, but you have some alumni that just have a different sense of maturity. And I think that's what boils down to it. And if you look at that type of those alumnus, guess what? They're welcome. Because let's be honest. Look at every band program as a house. Even though you may be reared in that house, if that house was sold to somebody else, they have the right to repaint that house if they want to. That's their prerogative. Bottom line, right? But the truth is, if you want to be welcome into that home again, maybe it's some other rules or new rules and regulations that you must follow if you want to enter into that home. That's just what it is. I remember when I changed the name, because people don't know, I changed the name of Worthing's band from the Marching 100 to the Marching Pride of Sunnyside. Now, first thing somebody told me was, well, why you changed the name? Well, number one, we only had 8 people. Number one. Can't be the March 108 people. That's number one. Number two, again, they had 7 band directors when I arrived in 4 years. So we rebranded ourselves. And even the admin was like, yeah, we need to do something with that. So we rebranded it. That's what we did. That's what I, as the director, decided to do. Dr. Zachary didn't change the name, didn't change the colors, grew the band, graduated more individuals that were certified. Let's add that. I mean, everything has gotten better. Now Prairie View is hosting high school battle of the bands and whatnot. There was a term where there wasn't any high school aspect thing. High school things were really going on campus. It really wasn't. It was like hit or miss every other year. So he's doing his job, and he's doing it better than a lot of people. That's why I always tell him, thank you for being the one that was selected to resurrect this program. Not saying that program was bad. And like one thing that I applaud him, what he said was, I'm paying homage and respect to the previous director, but I can only be the best me. That I respect that. So you want him to be another Prof Edwards? That's what we're expecting him to be. God, peace be unto him. You want him to be another William McQueen, Dr. William McQueen? No, I think that's wrong, because nobody's asking Kedrick to be another Dr. Greggs. Nobody asking Dr. Chipman to be another William P. Foster. They're saying just uphold the traditions of our band program and make it better. And I think those dudes are doing it, bro. Alumni sometimes do expect more, but it's only the ones that possibly was trash on their horn, want to keep up the traditions that honestly does not impact this culture in this impact this culture positively in this time. They don't. The truth is, we can't have band practice till 2 o'clock in the morning no more. And honestly, when we did it then, that's why a lot of people fail. I mean, it's just certain things change, bro. Things change. I guarantee you, Luke, you're rearing your children different than what you were reared. Certain things you keep, certain things you be like, nah, that wasn't the best. And that is what it is. So, I mean, it is what it is, bro.
All right. Good. It was a good start. That was a great way to start this, because we about to dig a little deeper, man. So
got to dig a little deeper.
All right, here we go. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more, man. Y'all go ahead and slap that like that, man. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passioneers Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you type in Real Talk That Talk. Also, if you're watching us on Facebook, come on over to the YouTube, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and then you can go back to Facebook. I have no problem with that. All right, here we go. Here's the thing. We about to really get into it. Quan, let me ask you this question. Did you hear this mess? Did you hear this mess that's going down
What mess?
in the Uncut group?
What?
All right. So let's talk about it for a second. So first off, let me start off by saying that I am not in the Uncut group. Okay. I want to make sure I make it plain. Very plain. But I get wind of things that go down in the Uncut group. Okay. So apparently, allegedly, there is this thing that's going around where there's this young man, young brother, who has a YouTube channel. And his YouTube channel is critiquing videos, band videos. Okay. Now, supposedly, he said that he marched for, I think it was TSU, Texas Southern TSU, not Tennessee State. And the people found out that he didn't march for TSU. So they are eating him alive, from what I hear, tearing him a new one. So, first of all, I'm going to ask this question. This ain't even a question that I got on the screen. This is a question I got to ask you, Quan,
Oh, Lord.
and anybody else that's listening right now. How do you vilify someone who did not march in a program?
Oh, here we go.
On a platform hosted by someone who didn't march in a program? Please make that make sense. Y'all are going in the Uncut group about a young brother who didn't march in the program, and I guess he's perping. I guess we want to call it perping for band. Hey, whatever. But let's be clear. I gotta use the Quan Daddy. Let's be clear. The page you arguing on is by someone who didn't march, and in many cases spends time talking about band.
All the time, talk about band.
All the time. Sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome, bro.
So Quan, explain that to me, please, brother.
Shit, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. Like, bottom line, we're hypocrites, bro. We pick and choose. Like, we low-key pick and choose. Like, we stand together. I'm going again. We the blacks, you know. Shout out to Maya. We the blacks. We pick and choose when we say, okay, we're going to support this particular cause. But then we backdoor and still purchase and spend money with said corporations. We pick and choose, bro. Like, we say that we hold band culture or band near and dear to our hearts. But this, not being ugly, the Uncut page ain't just happened. My thing is this. Well, what about those people who never marched in a band that's critiquing band videos overseas, who have no clue about HBCU culture? We applaud that because we say what? Oh, this young lady
That's
from
exposure.
Yeah, this young lady from Australia, she's way down under, you know, reviewing the Southern University, you know, flashlight, you know, like we're international. Okay, cool. But then we excoriating this dude. I guess the only difference is because he said he did and he didn't. I mean, but what gives the other person a right to critique it too? Like what that and I guess that's my question, bottom line. What gives a person a mitigated gall to critique something when they didn't experience it? And
So you are actually going right into the question, man. You actually asked the question. How do we determine who's in the band head culture and who's not? How do we determine who's in the band head culture and who's not?
Can I be honest with you? What determines that depends on, depends on if that person can play or not. That's how we low-key pick and choose. Like, for example, you're not going to listen to someone unless they can prove themselves, quote unquote. But we don't do that with doctors, though. We don't do that with certain people. Like, when it's crazy when it comes to music, we question everything. Like, we'll say, well, I know a doctor, but that don't make him a good band director. Okay, that may be true. But you take that person off the streets word just because he can play some rudiments, though. So you see what I'm saying? It's like it's still subjective. A lot of it is subjective. Prime example, like Rick. We know Rick is cold, but because Rick doesn't have viral videos of him just screaming his heart out, people was like, oh, he trash, or who he marched for, and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, when Rick started dropping his resume, everybody was like, oh, well, we'll allow it. Why does it have to go there? We're the only ones that do that, bro. We the blacks. We're the only ones that have to honestly prove ourselves to ourselves that we're good enough for a particular comment. And then other people can comment and we just accept it because of name or avouchment. That's really what it boils down to. If you have enough band heads vouching for that individual, then they'll get a pass. If not, you ain't shit.
But see, that's the thing. And I know I've said this particular thing on a previous show. Band heads used to be people who marched.
Yeah.
The non-marching people would maybe talk to somebody that they knew was in the band, like, hey, man, y'all did a great job yesterday, man. You blah, blah, blah. But not the biggest voices in a lot of cases are the people who don't even march.
Because of social media, bro. Because of social media. That's the bottom line. Because of social media. And my thing is this. I can respect your opinion if you're contributing to the culture. Like, that's why, like, when I asked Justin respectfully, I was like, why didn't you march for such and such? And he gave me his reason. But you cannot tell me that Justin does not add to the culture, which is with his footage. You cannot tell me that his content is not bringing awareness of HBCU bands to the masses. I respect I respect what you're doing, bro. But when you talk about somebody just dropping videos of somebody else and you're critiquing it, but you've never crabbed in a band, like you've never endeavored through a band camp, like.
But I think that, but even with Justin, I think that falls in a different category because he at least marched in high school.
Yeah,
it gives him some level of credibility. Even though if he didn't march in a university program, that still gives him credibility because he at least knows what it's like to put feet to the 50. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But my question is this: so the young man, he never marched in high school either?
Now, see, that's what I don't know. I don't know the extent of this young brother. You know,
but I don't know, fam, because I look at it like this though, like. If we're speaking about college band, and see, I also look at from this point of view. Justin speaks about the critique of sound, drill, and from footage. Justin never says like, hey, these people are trash because, and try to go and paint a soliloquy like he's something that he's not. He's giving his honest opinion from what he's seen from his standpoint of footage. I think the difference when it comes to the uncut page, it goes beyond band. Those are the different aspects that I just don't agree with. We're talking about people's personal lives. We're talking about people, you know, if they got criminal records, their sexual orientation, it goes far. It don't stick with just band. And I think that's when the band head culture goes from a band head to a messy culture. What you gotta do better, dog. But it ain't gonna change though. Just being honest.
Yeah, I like I said, and
he didn't finish the season. I'm sorry. Like, sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. You didn't. That's and not being ugly. That's a big difference.
But see, but here we go. But here we go. He marched 2 games. Now that does that give him quote unquote swag hours? No, it doesn't give him swag hours, but it still gives him a level of understanding of what it's like to be on the field. It gives him a level of understanding to say, I know what it's like to lace up my boots. I know what it's like to put them spats on. You know what I'm saying? If somebody marched in the Legion, I mean, there are plenty of people who marched in the Legion and didn't finish out seasons. You know what I'm saying? But if they made it through the Legion and they Legion, they ain't make it through the year, but they Legion. If they made it through our process of what it means to being a Legion, they Legion. They have an experience that nobody else can talk about. Did they make it through the end of the year? No, absolutely not. You know, but at the same time, regardless of whether you agree on or anybody agrees on that part, when it comes to this specific situation, it's just wrong. It's just wrong.
But that's when we are the hypocrites. It's kind of like we're pointing the sword at an individual while stabbing ourselves. That's literally what's taking place, bro, because we're our own hypocrites. So okay, so if we respect this young man, like I say, I don't know the situation that's going on, but in particular, okay, he made it through crab camp. He marched his first 2 games, so we know his first 2 games was for sure Labor Day Classic if he marched for TXU, and the next one was a whatever game. Okay, so you made it through camp, and I'm looking at the comments. He said he transitioned, out of school. Okay, like I ain't being ugly. That's typical. That's after the 12th class day. like I mean, he might have been dropped from school. I mean,
I agree.
might have had a financial aid situation. Like we don't know. So I mean, from that point of view, okay, but my question is, we respect that, but we don't respect a person that didn't march at a collegiate level at all. But because they have such a strong following, we accept it. Again, we're pointing the sword, excoriating this young man, but stabbing ourselves. And honestly, that's an aspect of our culture that we're dealing with. Like, again, not to go back to the Kanye West situation, but I saw a post that says, those same corporations didn't pull out when he was speaking about African Americans.
Yeah, I saw that same post.
So I mean, but that shows you the state of mind of where we are. We'll support pages such as SWAC Uncut and HBCU Uncut, which is okay, cool. That's for entertaining purposes. But then we won't support a middle school band program. Where's the logic? Oh, band directors, it's a revolving door of high school band directors. We won't support that, but we'll support something else. Like, where's the logic in it? And then we create excuses such as, well, I just came here to dance. I just came here to be entertained. That's what we do. It's double-edged sword, bro. And we stabbing ourselves on a lot of it. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Cool. Okay, let's go to the next one, man, because the next one is okay. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We had the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy right now. Some of y'all ain't gonna like this conversation and this topic, and you know what? It is what it is. I really don't care. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionates Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. Also, if you're watching us on Facebook, come over to the YouTube page, hit that subscribe button. Then you can turn it off and go, back to Facebook. It's all good. All right, here we go. So, as we're speaking about our people, our culture, all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about, we're staying with this young brother for a second. So he has a page, and, I know a lot of people support his page. He has over 1,000 something subscribers, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And as always, I'm going to always continue to shout out all of us who are in this space. I'm going to shout him out. the Crucial Conflicts, the Show Style Talk, who is literally on right now, which I didn't even realize that. Well, not recently, but I knew that after I started the show, I found out that they were on at the same time we were on. Didn't even know that before then. But yeah, the Show Style Talks and Meet Me on the 50. Shout out to all of y'all, man, because we're all operating in a space that is small. And I've said this before. One of the things that I find interesting is the fact that you guys, not everybody, but the people are excoriating this guy, this young brother. He ain't doing nothing no different than the people that I just named. He really isn't. So whether he's really, if you really want to be honest, he's really not doing anything different than what that Uncut page is. He's just critiquing band on video. I mean, if you really just want to get down to the brass tacks of it. But I find it very interesting, though. We glorify the ignorance. We really do. We want to tear this young brother apart because he didn't, quote unquote, go through the band process, but he's doing nothing no different, in my personal opinion, than Crucial Conflict and Show Style Talk, than what's happening in the Uncut groups. He's doing nothing different. So here's the question, because I'm gonna be honest, we not up showing a bunch of band videos and critiquing. We just not. And I made it very personal that I'd rather have the discussions about our culture than continue to do the things that other people are doing. That market is there, and that's cool. I'm not gonna stop you from that, and I'm not gonna hate on you for that. As a matter of fact, I support you for that. But we always look for the negative sometimes. This person trash, they trash. Oh, he false claiming. So let me ask this question: is it about the culture of bashing black people? Is it about the culture of bashing black people?
Yeah. I mean, look at the conversations that we tend to have on this particular platform. Not just this show, a Crystal show. We try to educate the band culture overall, right? But we know for a fact how this world operates now. It's about the following. It's not about your content. It's not about the hard-nosed, realistic truths of what takes place in this music world for African Americans. Period. At the end of the day, I saw Justin comment. He said he marched. Okay, he marched. But when are we going to get to a point where we're, in my opinion, when are we going to have a outside of us, another platform where people can truly dialogue back and forth respectfully, and talk about how can we fix the egregious situations that are taking place in music education? Like, we see the problems, but who's going to stand up and be like, we're going to resolve them? And I'm going to say this. When Prof. Gibb was the band director at TSU, many people said a lot of things about him, right? But one thing that nobody spoke about was this man went to about every other school board meeting fighting for music education in Houston Independent School District. Nobody mentioned that. I give people their just due because that's what's right. Who gonna stand up for these kids though? Because we so busy penis measuring amongst one another about who's the best, who's this, but we're not investing in the now for the future. That's the issue that I have. Yeah, we're a bashing culture. It's entertaining. We're like gladiators. Are you not entertained? That's what we're doing. It's not about music education. It's not about truly getting those kids to the next level properly. I spoke to several university band directors. Band and music literacy is suffering right now. Suffering right now. And the next generation of band directors gonna have it hard, bro. I'm telling you, they're gonna have it hard. Because, like you said, Julian, and other people on this panel, it's about microwavable things. Band pageantry gonna go down even more because people really don't want to take the time to truly put a field show together properly. It's gonna go down, bro. It's gonna be a lost art after a while. And that's why we keep talking about stands. But that's gonna be the aspect after a while. After a while, it may not even be halftime shows. Because that's a skill you have to learn, develop, and craft over some time, bro. So to answer your question, is this culture about bashing Black people? Yes. I just pray that the ones that have that third eye open and we see what needs to be changed and altered in a proper way, that we have a louder voice.
And see, and that's the thing, right? Like, when I say this all the time, I look at the analytics of what happens on this show, blah, 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 watch time, all that, right? You know, our highest shows,
Mass band,
the SWAC show, and anytime Southern is in the title.
Mm-hmm.
But check this. The last episode that we had about directors and the mental capacity of directors, and the show that we had about inappropriate relationships and all those kind of things that actually matter, that's where our lowest numbers are.
Yep.
And I have a problem with the fact that we find a way to find all of this negative energy. We take in all of this negative. We take in all of this stuff, and we refuse to just go and get the positive. Oh, that's not my thing. At what point, as we as a people, gonna wake up? Like you said, it's entertainment, and ain't nothing wrong with entertainment. But are you just gonna be entertained for the rest of your life? Or you just not gonna feed yourself?
But Luke, it's all good until it affects you. That's really how humans operate. From the point of view of like when all of this, the like war on drugs, it wasn't no war on drugs until, prime example, when it was crack, it was war on drugs. But when you started talking about opiates and affecting more Anglo demographics, that's when it became an epidemic and a problem. It doesn't affect you until it happens to you. That's the problem for us. We don't want to wake up, bro. It's like we want to stay asleep. Like, that's the issue. It don't affect you. God forbid, I would hate for a university band director to lose their job behind something. And then it's like, oh, like, we should have addressed that then. Like, we always talk about how much it costs to adequately function a band program. But then if a situation about misappropriation of funds come up, you mad at the band director, but y'all wasn't paying them. Or y'all wasn't giving kids proper scholarships. Or you got to rob Peter to pay Paul so that the band program could survive. Now we want to have a conversation. We're always reactive, bro. That's the problem, instead of proactive. Hate to go back to the situation again. Kanye West situation shows you that people are sticking together and they're proactive. They're proactive. They're not reactive. We're the late ones to the party.
But I definitely don't disagree with you, but I also think that we have a superiority complex.
What do you mean?
Like, I think that we have this thing that we have to be over one another. We got to be the better one. We got to be the dominant one. And for me, it's simple. It's simple stuff. And people will look at me or probably listen to what I'm saying and be like, man, you tripping. But like, something as simple as greatest homecoming on earth. not your average homecoming. Like, why do we have to continuously try to put ourselves above each other? Why can't it just be the homecoming? It's people that be like, yo, we got the best homecoming ever. You ain't never even been to another homecoming. So how could you even like, but and it seems very simple and trivial, but for some reason we're always trying to find a way to make ourselves better than our own people. And for me, I can't ever figure that out. I don't understand why. And for me, it still goes back to this young brother. Okay, whether he marched or not, whether he marched or not, is he doing the exact same thing that other people are doing anyway? You have over 1,000 something subscribers, so obviously the content that he was putting out was acceptable to the masses. Until what?
To have 1,000 subscribers, you doing something good, bro.
Right. So now all of a sudden, now we need to back up. Make that make sense.
But I have a question. So, but what's the difference between that dude that marched half a season and left too? Or that dude, real talk, that marched but didn't cross the section? Like, what's the difference?
It's no different. I was on mute my mic. It's no different.
Yeah.
It's really no different. Oh, what about the dude who actually marched every year and just sucks? You could never get him off third grit trombone. You know what I'm saying? Or he never marched he was always somebody's alternate, or he was always in the stands during the field show, or he was so terrible that he ended up on the EQ staff or something like that. What's the difference? But yet again, we always have to show some type of superiority over each other. We always got to bash somebody. We always got to go for the jugular every single time. Everything is a joke. Even so much so, and don't get me wrong, it looked bad. It looked bad. But I think there's a level of respect that we have to give each other. There's a video going around of two young drum majors. I think there's Hispanic girls, if I'm not mistaken. It's being passed around, and they're doing a little tunnel, and it don't look good. I'm gonna be honest, it don't look good. But the comments on there, these are kids, man. These are kids. These are babies. These are somebody's children. And we are continuously finding a way to just continue to go for the jugular every single time. There is no filter. It's just like, meh. And then when you address it, I don't care. Like, and maybe it's me. Maybe because I'm a parent, or maybe because I'm an educator, it affects me differently. Maybe that's it.
You know, bro, you know the struggle. You know what it takes to build a program. You know what it takes to have a student that can barely chew bubblegum and walk to play their part. Like, you know what it takes to have a what is it, English learner, ELL learner, for them to understand music, for them to tap their foot at the same time and play this music on top of the metronome instead of behind or in front, to play music that they've never heard or understood before, to break culture and language barriers. You get that. Again, due to your experience, and all band directors that watch and tune into this show, due to your experience, you have a different mentality. You have a different appreciation. It's easy to yell from the stands and point out and say, well, why this isn't good, and why this, why this shape didn't come out the way you want. It's easy to yell that, but you've never done that. You've never created a drill. You've never had a vision, and you have administrators that's against you at times, scheduling that's against you, financial fiduciary responsibilities that you need to take care of, making sure that your band program does not look like the minority band, to make sure that they have all the same uniforms and t-shirts and whatnot. taping, duct taping bits and stuff like that to your tuba. You get that. That's why you have a different heart, because you've experienced what it takes to build a child up that knows nothing to becoming a better young woman or young man to be productive in society for the next level. You get that. They don't, bro.
We got to do better. I actually have a side question on this, and it kind of is leaking into this. We kind of leaked into it, but we can go a little bit further. Are high schools off limits? Are high schools off limits?
I don't think high schools are off limits, but it's how you critique. Because again, man, there's a difference between critiquing and criticism. Like there's a difference between, I'm just criticizing you. It's bad, but you're not telling me. First of all, that's why when we have conversations after every game on the bus ride home, I tell my band, all right, let's do grows and glows. You speak your portion, I'm gonna speak mine. I asked them, you want the good or the bad first? We want the bad. Okay, we need to work on this. We need to work on this. But just letting y'all know, y'all did this, and this well. Let's next week. Let's highlight it. Let's approach it. Let's do it. That's critiquing, because I'm not tearing down the individual. You feel what I'm saying? But criticizing, all that shit bad. What was good? Nothing. So you're telling me that I have students that work that practice from 4 to 6:30 every day, 5 days a week, or 4 days out the week, one game. They still go to class. They still have, some of them have tumultuous home lives and whatnot. Some of them are the eldest sibling. Some of them have jobs. And you want critique and basically excoriate this child about trying their best? Nah, bro. You're really not helping the culture. And that's when I feel like you're not helping the culture. You just tearing that hoe down. And it may be a reflection of you, honestly, because maybe you don't know how to properly critique. Maybe you don't know how to build up. And I think that's where we at, bro. That's just where we at.
Yeah, I think. Well, first of all, I'm definitely going to say that high school students, all that is completely off limits. But I think it also goes to what I said earlier. I think that unfortunately, and you kind of just hit on it too, some people just don't have a filter, and some people don't care about their lack of filter. And people don't even recognize that, once again, as we like to always say, and the reality is, these are kids, these are children, this is somebody's sons and daughters who are doing their best, coming from some abysmal situations and coming from some good ones, but they're all mixed in, trying to create a product and do their best. You know, I'm not going to put that video up here because I want to respect that program, but that's not the first video that I've seen similar to that, and it's not the first time that I've watched and listened to people tear down that program on a public platform. Now, just imagine if those two kids felt really proud about the job that they did. What if those two kids had been working all week to try to even get close to what they produced? And then the video was put out, and they want to go and look at it and be proud of the work that they did, and all they're getting is negative comments. How does that build a child up? Or do we just not think about that stuff? Does that not even matter? Then somebody will go, well, they shouldn't have put it out then.
My thing is this: it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's just the bottom line, bro. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like, certain things have to be considered, kind of like we were saying earlier in regards of Dr. Zachary. The same Prairie View Marching Storm in the times of being in the band in the early 90s was not the same way in the 2000s. The same way in the 2000s, band was different in 2010. And it's damn sure different now in 2020. Bro, we're talking about almost 20 years of a difference. So your methods, pedagogies cannot be the same. It can't. If you're the same person with the same mentality from 1990 to 2020, kill yourself. I'ma say it. Like that, like there's no growth whatsoever, bro. And some of that, we're bringing that old mentality, that old burning sands, that old, it didn't come in the way that I came in. But really ask yourself, did the way you come in make you better? Did the way you come in made you a better person? Did the way you come in, honestly, can you translate that to a kid right now and make them a better individual?
Some would say yes.
Some of it.
I'm saying some people will say yes.
Yeah, but let's do the data on that, because we still had kids that was dropping out in college band for those same reasons. You had some people that just was like, bro, I'm not about to go through that. You had some people, my crab brother, real talk, my freshman year when we was getting out of practice late, he was like, yeah, bro, I'm not coming to practice no more this late. And he stopped marching. But he was the only one that had a 3.8 GPA by midterm. And we was all struggling because we wanted to be in the band so bad at that particular time. He came back when things changed. Like, people fail to realize 2006 through 9 was a big shift, especially after the Robert Champion situation, was a big shift in band. It makes no sense for you to be at band practice at 2 o'clock in the morning, bro, when you got an 8 o'clock. So you're not concerned about the student. You're concerned about your program. Nah, bro, it's different. It's different, bro. In regards of high school students, to go back and answer your question, dog, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But everybody not going to think on that high level like we're thinking, because we're in the trenches. The people that's really doing the work, bro, a lot of the time, we're not going to be heard. It's the ones that want to be entertained.
And I think that also goes with, people who have not gone through this process and gone through that battle and gone through that struggle. That makes them feel they don't understand, like you were saying, the growth that has and the change that has happened in the band culture. They do believe, and that's why I say some will, they do believe that what they went through is going to be perfect for today and should still be happening today.
And to the person that just made the comment, certain adversity makes you stronger. Absolutely. Within reason. Absolutely. Within reason.
No, go ahead.
Nah, because I was just about to say, not being ugly, I'm gonna just put it out there. Getting your ass whipped don't make you a better player.
Thank you.
So
personally, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. I ain't never get touched to be in the Legion. I ain't never get touched to be in the Legion. Now, I will tell you, I thought I was going to, because when I heard them play, I was like, yo, they gotta be doing something. And I ain't never get touched to be in nobody's Legion. And when I went through the Legion, because there's a process, but I ain't never get touched to be in the Legion. But when I went through the Legion process, I got smart. And I looked back and I said, why the heck are they getting drugged to play their horn? That don't make no sense. When I was in undergrad, I seen pictures from people from certain schools, in which I am not going to mention, with welts, swollen butt cheeks, and everything between. And for the life of me, I could not figure out, and nobody can explain it to me, how did that make you a better player? Some of the people who went through there were garbage on their horn. And those are some of the people today who never got a music degree and got the most to say.
But what I guarantee you their answer was, that's how it was. That's how it was before me, bro. That's how it was. Which goes back to a question that we had in many episodes ago. Is all tradition good? Nope. But we could say that now as the 34, 35 euro individuals. Some of us wasn't saying that at 18. We thought that was the culture. Not saying that I endeavored through anything. I'm not implicating anything. What I am saying is many people for whatever reason, for whatever you pledge or whatever. You think that that's what you're supposed to do. Nah, bro. That shit don't make you better. Think about how many people pledge in an organization that go through a glazing process and then 1 year after they done, quote unquote, the rock of the line. But you didn't do none of this paperwork for national stuff. Just saying, bro.
I mean, man, ugh, I gotta bring her in right quick.
Phone disconnected.
Hey, Portia, your phone is connected.
Yeah, you heard my car.
I just heard it.
Portia P.
What's up?
Hey, I know you done probably missed all this good conversation that we done had.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my little job.
No, you good, because I do want to hear some of your thoughts on this. I might have to go and revisit some of these topics just to get your thoughts on this. As a matter of fact, let's do this. I ain't never did this for Portia, but I want to get Portia's thoughts on this. Let's see how far. I ain't gonna go all the way back. I'll do this one. We went to our third topic was, is it about the culture or is it about bashing Black people? Really, the conversation kind of started when we were talking about a young brother. There's a lot of stuff going on in the band space, and so ultimately it came down to the conversation about us and how we like our poison as chocolate folk. And so, when we look at these YouTube streets and what we do, which is a very, very small market for what we do, when we start looking at people who want to get fed great information and things like that, we're typically not going to rush to that. We're usually going to go rush to the trash talk, the bashing each other, the entertainment, and when it comes to the healthy conversations and the healthy dialogues and the things that are actually going to push the culture forward, that's the things that we tend not to run to. And so the question was, is it about the culture of bashing Black people?
Is what about the culture?
So basically, is the culture, quote unquote, about the culture of bashing Black people? We claim that we for the culture, but is the culture really about the culture? Or is these spaces about bashing Black people?
I think it depends on the messenger. I don't want to see any program fail. I don't want to see um, any marching band not doing their absolute best. Um, but you know, there are ways to say that. None of it is my intent to bash them or say anything negative about them. But if it ain't good, it ain't good. And if we're not talking about the ways we can improve, then that's a problem. Um, but I do think depending on where it's coming from, because I say it all the time. I just think it's weird. People who've never been in these situations, who've never participated in a college marching band or any marching band, have a lot to say, and I just think that's weird. When I'm saying things, I'm coming from a place of I've been in this space. I'm still in this space in a coaching capacity, and there are things that we can do that we can all improve upon. I talk with those girls weekly. We do a review of what happened last week and what we can do better. That's natural, and we should be able to tell one another in a certain way that wasn't good, or you should work on this. Like, for example, when I saw, I was talking all that junk about mass bands not having flags, and then I saw that one group had flags, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so dope. It was two of them, but hey, it's some flags out here. But I said it, and then I said, now you shouldn't throw ripples if it's two of y'all, because it can look like a mistake or chaos. My suggestion is you do this. So that's coming from a place of I want us to succeed, I want us to do well, and I'm hoping somebody pass that information on to them. But I just think it depends on where you're coming from, and some of it is that people genuinely just want to have something negative to say. There are certain people that no matter what a band program does, if it's not the Canes or certain programs, it's always going to be something negative. It's certain lines, dance lines, certain band programs that's just gonna get bashed, because they not the Canes, or nothing's ever gonna be good because it ain't the Canes. Like I just think that's ridiculous. To me, there should be something good you can point out with every show. At least I try to. But there are some people that are strictly here to have something to say, that are strictly here to bash and to get attention. And I'm sorry, I think my biggest concern is why the people who've been in these spaces, who have the hours, who've been a part of these programs, are even giving those people views, are even giving those people a space to infringe upon our culture and give their opinion. And we're giving it merit by supporting this foolishness. That's just my 2 cents.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to go back and pick you up, and then the next thing where you came in, as we were talking about our high schools off limits. So we have so many spaces and so many different areas where people are not necessarily critiquing, they're criticizing, and so the question was, are high schools off limits?
Kids are off limits. I think the kids are off limits. Now, I do think that if you see something that is unladylike, unbecoming of the females in that band, or of the dance lines, or auxiliary or whatever, I do think you should say something. But I don't know that social media is the space for that. I feel like I saw some things in the battle that I didn't think should be happening, or a song selection that wasn't appropriate. I didn't go on the internet and bash it, but I did, reach out to that program and was like, hey, I don't know if you considered this, but this is how this came off. But bashing, belittling, demeaning children on the internet is a problem. And no adult should be okay with that. So, yeah, in my opinion, children are off limits. Now, I have been at some high school battle of the bands and stuff like that, and heard some stuff that I was like, ooh, okay. I thought to myself, that probably should not have left the band room, but I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to, because here's the thing. This band program is still being active. I mean, it's the state of band programs on every level, to me, are struggling right now. So the fact that they're putting out a product, to me, is amazing in itself. And so I think kids are off limits. I'm not arguing with a student. I'm not arguing with children. And I would give y'all an example of how ridiculous I think that is, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to bash another program. But I witnessed that, somebody from a band staff arguing with a child about their program this year, and I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But yeah, I think they're off limits, and that's ridiculous, and we need to be better than that. Because then the question becomes, are you doing anything to help that program? Are you offering your services? Because if you're not, you need to be quiet.
There it is. All right. Well, we got you caught up. There we go. That's where we stopped at. So with that being said, we can go on to this last here topic. And then as I asked the last question, I'm going to put the link in the chat so that you can come in and talk that talk with us. All right. So welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy. If you just coming in the room, go ahead and smash that like daddy. If you've been here, you've been watching since the beginning, go ahead and smash it now. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionates Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasting networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. All right, here we go. Here's the last comment, or excuse me, not comment, but here's the last question. Is there a such thing as healthy trash talk? Is there a such thing as healthy trash talk? Quan, go ahead and swallow that, and then you go ahead and go, brother.
Pause. Yes, there is. There is such a thing as healthy trash talk. It just honestly, if it's done in a manner that's family oriented and for the purpose of bettering that student, yes. But just outright just talking shit, nah. You know what I'm saying? But big pause. But yeah, healthy trash talk ain't nothing. If we playing the game and I'm on 2K and I'm Steph Curry and all in Luke face, pause. If I'm doing that and we just clowning each other, that's one thing. But if I'm be like, bro, you trash, you ain't gonna be nothing because your mom ain't nothing. We like, whoa, bro. Like now you step into a realm that's uncalled for. I think, again, you should still have a sense of respect and reverence for that person. Just overall, bro. We can't keep talking about we encouraging the culture and but then we talking crap about them in a derogatory way. And I must say this though, that's one thing that we as Black folks gotta start doing better. We have to start being consistent. We have to start being consistent where on one hand we're pro-Black on Monday, but then we talking crap about each other on Wednesday, and then on Friday, we hate each other. But then when somebody does something against us as another culture, then we back on the same train. But as soon as that trend dies down, we back against each other. We got to be. We're not the consistent ones. That's why I feel like other ethnicities don't take us serious, but they know our power and they see how dangerous we are. But we don't take each other serious. But overall, is healthy trash talk good? I do. Real talk. Crabs versus old head, yeah, that's cool.
Portia, is there such thing as healthy trash talk?
Absolutely. And I think that we've lost something where everybody takes stuff personal. I know when we were in the band, um, you know, that stuff used to motivate us. Like, oh, okay, so now we got something to prove. I mean, I don't know how many times we repeated to each other all the stuff that was said when we got invited to that first Honda. Oh, they said we don't deserve to be here. So that got us up for it. Like, that motivated us to put forward. I can't tell you how many times leading up to that Hampton game, after that whole video came out, we was like, oh, they the standard of excellence. What you gonna be on Saturday? And it turned into it's a joke, but let's get this work done. You know what I'm saying? So it just all in how you say it. And all like, I don't even know what's gonna happen in the moment that's gonna change anything. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be very transparent. It was some years in there after I left the Spartan Legion, and I saw some stuff that I wasn't happy with my section, and I would come to them games and I would let them hold. And then one day it hit me that ain't gonna fix nothing at the game. Like, if you want to affect change, you have to get in the right person's ear. You have to have the right conversations. You have to try to speak to them in a way that they'll receive the information. And so I was guilty of that. And then it hit me one day that, again, that's why kids are off limits, because you're supposed to be grown, and grown people are supposed to think different.
I remember when you used to do that too.
Huh?
I said, I remember when you used to do that too.
Yeah, and it's awful that I did that, but I learned, and one day it hit me. You're an adult, and these are people are younger than you, and this is not constructive at this point. They're not receiving any of this. And so I had to change my mindset. And, things changed. But that was because I went about it a different way. And so, yeah, there is a such thing as, genuinely constructive criticism for the good of the group. And then there's you're angry or upset about something and you don't know how to express it, which is what I was, or you genuinely have nothing good to say or nothing nice to say for whatever reason and you need to go find a life, or you just talking junk to be talking junk and again you need to go get a life. So yeah, I think there can be constructive criticism and junk talking. Y'all know I'm trying to get a person that can motivate and can push, the student forward. But it has to be done in the right way, and it has to be in the appropriate setting. You just hollering at them while they walking down the street does nothing for anybody. So if you do that, I want you to stop that because you look crazy, and we talk about you.
So I think you kind of hit on it, but what does healthy trash talk versus criticizing look like?
Healthy trash talk is sometimes I say to them, y'all ain't marching though. And they'll be like, oh, she trying to play us. And that'll push them. Or I'd be like, I don't know, y'all ain't quite looking like silks. Y'all out there twirling with a pole in y'all hand, but y'all ain't really looking like silks today. And they kind of look at me like, oh no, See, she's trying to be funny today. And sometimes I'll do this. I'll call them like other squads names. And they really don't like that. And so that kind of stuff. And I mean, even, once that my mind got right, before I got to the section, I'd be like, oh, so y'all trying to be silk. Just little stuff about who the section is or who they are, and I was even to the Legion. Oh, y'all the Legion today or y'all somebody else? Like, and that little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But, oh, y'all, that ain't what the fuck we did when I was in the band. So, like, what is that? What does that even mean? Like, if I'm marching down the street, I can't even process that. Like, what are we talking about here? Or, that sounded like shit. Okay, so what you want me to do about that in this moment? Like, little stuff like that can't be processed, that ain't gonna motivate me, that is more than likely gonna piss me off, is not constructive. Like, you just hollering random stuff. First of all, I want you to know, unless you're like following me as I'm marching, I don't know that I'm hearing all of what you're saying anyway. And if you just hollering stuff from the stands while we sitting there, something wrong with you too. So I mean, it just depends on what it is and how it's phrased. And people can tell your intent by your tone. So, I mean, that's my take on it. I don't know what Quan thinks, but I mean, you just hollering out shit is just real crazy if it's not something that I can process in that moment.
One thing I do is, even with my kids now, I take my old heads, I put them on the left side. I take my younger kids first year, I put them on the right side. I say, all right, let's see who's the real marching product on the side. Go on, play. And I let them literally critique one another. And so when they see it, and so then the old heads, they be like, man, such and such really playing over there. You see that? We got to outplay them. It's healthy competition amongst one another. And then I merge them back together. And then they be like, man, you really was playing. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's a difference. Overall, it's healthy. It's for the betterment of the band program. It's not tearing nobody down. So healthy trash talk, if you're still building them up in a healthy competitive way, then that's what's up. To make them, like, even the slide comments, oh, y'all not silk S today. Well, who we supposed to beat in? I'm gonna show you better than I could tell you. Because the truth is, those kids, they want to make you proud. They're striving still for your approval. So you have to be mindful that what you say to them could be detrimental to them, not just today, but from a future aspect. They already get beat up enough. And that's what we have to realize as Black people. We get beat up every day, bro. They shouldn't come to a place where it's supposed to be a safe haven and get beat up again. Put them through tests and trials and senses of adversity, but you should not break them and beat them down.
And I mean, part of it is too is that we have to prepare them for the real world. You have to be able to take, process, and put into use constructive criticism. I don't know a single job in the world where you do not have some kind of evaluation, where you don't receive some kind of feedback. And I always say this: I want them to leave the Spartan Legion and leave the Silkhead section and be good people and be functional members of society. So I do have checkoffs weekly. I do give them feedback almost daily because you need to be able to leave here, receive, nobody's perfect, receive constructive criticism, figure out the things that you need to work on, and go work on them, and not break down, not cry, not take it personal. But this is how the business world works. So while definitely it needs to be constructive, not addressing areas of opportunity can be just as detrimental, because then I don't. It's already everybody gets participation awards. Um, Nobody gets, first, second, third, and fourth is like second, third, and fourth are like the end of the world now, and all of this other stuff. Nobody wants to hear that they're not the absolute best, and it's developing people who don't have any coping skills. So constructive criticism and structured trash talking can be beneficial both in band and out of band, but you just need to know how to do it, because if not, then you're gonna have people who can't handle anything when they lead a program.
Dang it. My bad. I accidentally missed the whole mute button. All right. Cool. Okay. Well, that was the last topic, man. I think we made it through unscathed. But I will say, I think that as a culture, and I ain't talking about band culture, I'm talking about as a people, we just got some work to do, And I think that one of the problems that we have is we don't like to be told our crap don't stink or our crap stinks, whichever the way the phrase works. You know what I mean? We just don't like to be told that. And I think that that's one of the things that we probably need to work on as a people. And so I think we got a long way to go as a culture. All right, man. Oop. Nobody came in today. I thought Justin was gonna pop in. I thought he was wanted to talk about that situation, but I guess not. I guess he went on a spree somewhere else, which is all good, man. All right, so we gonna get ready to close out, man. I think this has been a super dope episode. We had some really healthy conversations, and I think that this is a conversation that actually needs to go a little bit further, that maybe even extends outside of band talk. Because I think it's a really, really necessary. Oh shoot, Justin. Oh, he just popped up. My bad. I was about to close out, Justin. You lucky you caught me at the right time. All right, well then let's bring in Justin in, since he said he got something to say. South got something to say.
Man, what up, Doc?
What's going on? What you got for us, bro?
Man, I thought about your ass when I was recording drum edges, but
I know you ain't hear me at the beginning. I gave you a shout out.
I caught the tail end of it because there's so many shows going on at one time. Apparently, I don't know why, but Jackson was. I talked to drummers before the performance, and they had a long week. I'm talking about from like Good Morning America to like all kind of other stuff. So I mean, I didn't expect a lot from the band in general. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that they were fatigued, but they still did a great job.
Yeah. I want to Marvin and the squad is doing good, man. So big up to them.
Yeah, I want to talk about that situation about the KB the Bandhead dude, because I know him personally, right? I felt a way about it, and he told me not to speak on it on the post about it on Facebook because I just didn't want whatever. But you're right, man. It's literally just tearing another black man down. Like that's all it is at this point. I just feel like people pick they standards of band and their requirements of band for who they want them to be required for. Like you ain't marching the swag, so you can't teach in the swag, or like you ain't do this, so you ain't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like we can, for half of the people who was talking on those posters, y'all are the reason why y'all program was like it was. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the reason why, y'all taking these programs down. Half of them ain't never even graduated from the school. You know what I'm saying? So y'all pick on somebody who at least, attempted to go to school, which I know his story was crazy is, everybody went fact check, so I went fact check too. I know somebody who's a big dog in that program, in that drum section that crabbed him. So I'm like, if he crabbed him and he was y'all section leader, where y'all getting this nonsense from this man didn't march? You know what I'm saying? Granted, he told me the story, long story short, he marched and he had to stop school because of, I guess financial aid reasons. But me personally, that's not even his place to say. So I get it, but like a lot of that was just hate, you know what I'm saying? Because we take critiques from people who didn't even march in the band, you know what I'm saying? I didn't march in the band. I dare somebody to tell me something about musical knowledge, which is going to revert back to these high schools, is what I'm telling you about. A lot of the teachers that teach down south, the person who I know with the most musical knowledge don't got no college degree at all, but taught hundreds of kids that went to these schools like the Kings and Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? So what do we say about people like that? I guess you pick your battle on who you give the standards of music to. You know what I'm saying? That we're going to do it across the board. And Portia, you were saying some right stuff about, you know what I'm saying, as a person who can relate to marching in the band. You know what I'm saying? That when you say stuff like that, or people talk like that, you'll never hear me say something like, you know what I'm saying, like they should be doing this or they should be doing that, because I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm only going to the standpoint of what I've done or what I know to be good. And you don't have to take my critique to heart, you know what I'm saying? Because you can simply say you ain't never done it before. So what are you telling me? That's cool, you know what I'm saying? But I guess, which I'm reverting over to the part about the high schools, Luke, you understand what music is down here in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? There's people who don't march in college programs because it's almost like football. At my high school, we had turf and we had a state-of-the-art stadium. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to a college that don't have at least what my high school had. You know what I'm saying? My band, I'm known for winning in high school. So why would I come to your two-piece and a biscuit band that you're trying to start when I know I went to Paris in high school in my band? Have you a college band that went to Paris? So it's a lot different down here and down south with the constructive criticism of high school. Yes, high school is getting critiqued. They are. I mean, I know we don't supposed to talk about kids, but it's never towards the kids per se, is always towards the band director. So when we say two bands battling in the street at Mardi Gras, one band suck, mainly that's going towards the band director. It's never really about the kids. So you see how I cross that over into saying from the criticism that you get, it is different deep down south where the incident take place at. Now, kids are definitely off limits. Like some of the stuff people be saying about kids, I'm like, damn, like y'all think that y'all was so much better in your day, and you really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I know I was in a transitional phase in high school towards the old New Orleans bands and the new New Orleans bands. We was the era where lots of kids started going to college. You know what I'm saying? It was a band where like not too many people was going to school in the city, because I know for sure I ain't go to college. I can go on Bourbon Street and make more money than some people with well-off careers playing in these jazz bands, these brass bands. So that's just what it is. The criticism, yeah, we critique them down here, but it's never too harsh on the kids, or we ain't trying to belittle a person. It's one thing to say you need to pick your feet up, but it's also a thing to say when y'all ain't sticking around me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all just incapable of doing it. It's a fine line you walk. Which going over to the next thing about I guess it's healthy trash talk. I'm from a place, if you can't take a joke, don't even come from around me. You know, don't even. I'm talking about if you can't give me a joke, I'm offensive kind of like that. I'm kind of picking on them. Let me chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like how you saying Portia, like y'all silk yesterday. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of trash talk I like to be like. I would have told you like, we better than when you was a silk. Now we got a healthy. You see what I'm saying? Look, a healthy went back. It wasn't too much. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't. You can have healthy trash talk. You like that? I know that's cool. But you can have healthy trash talk, but without tearing a person down. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of, if it ain't gonna strike me, I don't want it. So I guess healthy trash talk is, but disrespect is a fine line. Why you bring my mama into this thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about. But, you know, we'll give my mama joke. But, you know what I'm saying? Mom probably must in the band, too. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you just got to watch the fine line you walk with all that. I know that was a lot, but that situation made me so mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, I do got to accept the good and the bad, because we talk trash in band, but it ain't trash talk. Y'all attacking this man because he have a huge following. And he just started it, and he doing a damn good job at it. So that's another probably for another day. But that's my spill on it.
But let me well, I'm gonna start with that first and see what you say on this. So, Justin, do you think it makes any sense the fact that people are challenging his credibility of marching while hosting a show that talks about marching band, but are trash talking him in a group made by a person who never marched?
I said it clear. We pick and choose our standards for who we want to choose.
But that's BS to me. If you gonna say it with your chest, yo. If you gonna have that energy, keep that energy. I don't understand that. So it's a problem for him, but it ain't a problem for him. I don't understand. Either the standard is the standard or it ain't.
You know me, I'm like I said, I never marched in nobody's band. I never marched in the college band before. You know what I'm saying? Help start the human Jukebox media. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Yeah. So when you start talking, I know my place, but like, and I'm cool with almost everybody in that group. I have a cordial relationship with them, so I can definitely say keep it transparent and have a different conversation. But I don't know where that attack came from or what it was. But you're right, Portia. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep that same energy. And me, let's talk. We didn't have a retention rate problem. You know what I'm saying? We bashed Talladega when they got started, right? But they're graduating mud levels, right? You know what I'm saying? Half of the people that come to these bands. So what is the standard? Like I know in Southern is a big. That's what the Kings. It's a big thing to do your 4 years to get your jacket, correct? To get your war, right? When they wear the wars, they weren't proud. Everybody else don't really. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, don't have that process of marching the whole 4 years before you can say you actually accomplished something. So do I gotta march the full season? You know what I'm saying? So the man, he actually marched, and like I know some people who could vouch for him, but it was almost like either somebody just don't like him, or we in this this space of let me say it now, make it supposed to be cool because it's our homecoming week. But it can get deep because having the people that was talking. Other people I was talking with the main ones who like if you say I seen a post say if you say Texas Southern, they said this is the best Texas Southern band we ever seen. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I got to thinking of my little years I've been here. I gotta say, damn, okay, I went to high school in 10. I went to college in 10. 11 was Merck City Classic, one of the greatest battles ever. 12 in, 11 in, 13 in, 14 in. You feel why I'm about to keep going with it? Like, granted, I know some damn good players that went to those Texas Southern bands, but then you go like the 06, 07, but then you really can say that shit that Texas Southern doing right now is legit and it's fire as a motherfucker. And I would say it's the best that I've seen in a long time. Now, of course, you might for program, you'll say, nah, they went better. I would definitely beg to differ. You know what the beauty part of that is? They're not even that big of a band. They're just kicking ass and executing very well. So it's like, this band that y'all bragging upon, now you got a lot of heart, but I remember when the whole thing, Brian coming, you remember Quan? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want no juke representing us. Now it's like you have all this say-so about this. And what I don't want to happen is the success of this new band to get any backlash or get to any negative energy for what happened in the old. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so much, bro. But I didn't like it at all. But it's trash talking. You got to accept it. But at the same time, it's different between trash talking. You definitely come to somebody personal. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, Portia, but
listen, it all be personal. You feel what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Prime example, like Rick. Rick made his opinion. Rick was excoriated on personal shit. Like, that's what, like, people don't keep it on that one level with band. They take it to personal. Your daddy left him, you know, your mama was on dope, whatever the case may be. Like, people go there when it's like, bro, we talking about band.
I got another one. That man is I wish I could get KB to come on the show. That man is a professional drummer. He drums for a living. I be like, KB, you want to come to this? I'm booked to go to Vegas. I'm booked to this. He's a professional musician. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like pulling that card of what are you doing now? But I will hit you. When you graduated? Oh yeah, don't talk to me. I'm that person. You know what I'm saying? So I remember it came down the time where we're like, okay, that man ain't graduated school. Who? Speak for yourself. Nice one from you know what I'm saying?
What years did he march there? Because
I think it was 07 or 08, but I know BJ. Long story. Matter of fact, let me tell you, Craig, you know BJ.
I gotta see him.
You did a drum competition.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
BJ Crab him. And if BJ not a big dog in Texas Southern, but I don't know who is. You know what I'm saying? So like BJ crabbed him. But I was like, I'm gonna get KB to come to this. He's like, man, I crabbed him. Can't be cool people. So I'm like, wait a minute. I know who you is in Texas Southern Band throwback. BJ, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk about it. But why everybody jumping ship saying they don't know? So if you know, why? It just was a lot. And I'm like, it's not my fight to stay in, but I definitely didn't like what was going on. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the man have a good platform. You know what I'm saying? Everything opinionated. It's opinion. If he don't like, you gotta, y'all opinion might be, he might have said something that might have struck a nerve that she didn't like that might have been true. You know what I'm saying? So
that's
I don't know.
but at the end of the day, Justin, that's my same argument. If he's giving an opinion, in my personal opinion, he ain't giving no different opinion than the brothers over there at Crucial Conflict. He ain't giving no different opinion than the brothers over there at Show Style. So what difference does it make? He's just giving an opinion. And that's my thing. Like it's very similar to what Quan just said. We got to find something about someone to tear them down when they are on their rise, bro. Like, once again, this dude has over 1,000 subscribers, man.
I know he up there. KB Grunt.
He's there. Like,
he probably the leading reaction person right now.
He's there. Like, I'm not, I'm not gonna hate on him, but what I'm saying is, why do we feel like we have to find something to tear this brother down for?
Because it ain't you.
Whether he marched or not, what difference does it make? He's just giving an opinion, bro.
Though, do you know on YouTube there's so many platforms of reaction videos that
hold on, let me talk about it. Quan. I mean, it's so crazy now. I've been telling a couple of them, I'm like, damn, can I get 1,000 views on my shit first before you you know what I'm saying, before you react to it, But I really value all of them because I'm a YouTube head. If you have a YouTube channel and you tell me, I don't care if it's 2 subscribers or 200,000 subscribers, I'm gonna subscribe to someone and watch it because I like watching content that ain't mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm a YouTube, like I'm gonna tell the Kev all the time. I can't wait to Kev come back. I can't wait, you know what I'm saying? I like watching other stuff like damn, you know what I'm saying? I haven't posted a fifth party yet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And people are like, why you ain't posting, man? There's just a lot going on. I'm just having problems with myself, but at the same time, I like watching other people content. You know what I'm saying? I like watching the reactors. I like even the dance records. Everybody, it's their opinion. It's always, sometimes somebody could give their opinion and give you a whole different train of thought of what you was doing. They could say something that you might not agree with, and something that probably can make you better. It's opinionated. Who cares? Just like that, this is their opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's their opinion. But why belittle a person and talk personally on them? I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Something else that you said, and it was in the regards of, I think it was the healthy trash talk. You said something about when y'all trash talk is more or less towards the band director.
Yeah, it's most and yeah, because and that's what I don't be getting. Let me break that out to you right quick.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where is this at. Like, is this a personal conversation between you or you out in the street like, man, y'all suck? Because if you say it like that, the kids go here. They ain't gonna know if that's for the band director or not. So that's what I'm saying. So
I guess most of when the adults talking on these platforms, it's like if I were to say Kentucky State suck, right? No, the wild part about it is I know Kentucky State band director personally, right? So it's like we be acting like we don't be knowing these people personally. Like, then y'all tell a story about somebody that said something about PV or something, he didn't want to shake their hand or something like that. One of them band directors, like we know who we talking about, but you're right, the kids might not take it like that. But if from what I know down south, when we talk about high schools, it's always toward the band director. For example, Abelson's band director is a show on Crucial Conflict. You know what I'm saying? So if you're saying Abe sucked, the band director is on his damn show. So I'm sure he can take it, but it's never really so much about the kids. Now, you may get the directors or people that say these kids not like the old kids, like they're soft or stuff like that. And I personally don't think that's too much criticism because some of the stuff do be facts. Sometimes their kids be lazy or they just different from you. Or you can't you can't do kids what we got done. You know what I'm saying? Everything is hazing nowadays. I'm saying you talk to you, emotional, this, that, and the third, which is, you got to understand some of that stuff, but I don't think it should never be geared towards those kids. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we don't know what these bands are to be dealing with. Why you in the trap? You know what I'm saying? You keeping 100 kids and keeping your kids together is a success. You know what I'm saying? Because of what's going around your environment. But people outside are looking at it, just look like you had a bad field show. Well, what's stopping somebody from getting shot? You know what I'm saying? Because keeping this kid here. So it's like, I don't understand. That's why I don't say a lot. I do my trash talk with somebody when it's okay. You know what I'm saying? When everybody was just, we don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I can curse you out for real, and you want to fight, we can do what we got to do. But it's the culture. But when it come down to them kids, bro, like I just would never. I don't know, man. I would never say nothing like that. To me, I stop by your banner help. I don't know nothing about nothing. I don't know how to play a trumpet. I don't know how to play a baritone. I don't know how to play a tuba. But you see that damn trombone? I can get you work on that. You know what I'm saying? The transpose stuff. I mean, that's what it is. What a beef bad is. I have some bass club. I don't trouble. I don't know it. I can identify it. But stop talking and go help. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to high school kids. But a lot of them can't help because they were trash themselves.
But see, I think that's the bottom line for like where I'm at. There's a difference between criticizing and critiquing. Critiquing is saying, okay, attack and release wasn't good right there. Hey, I've seen band programs where you can see the potential, and I've directly emailed the band director and was like, hey, I think what y'all doing is great, but hey, just wanted to let y'all know. I don't know if you're aware of it, but tell your kids they're doing a really good job. Just focus on attacks and releases. Hey, make sure that you do this oral shape with your mouth. Blah, 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 blah. You know, when it comes to your percussion section, I'm a percussionist. If you would like some warm ups, that was off tempo, make sure they practice it with a metronome. Peace and blessings to you and your program. And then when you hit send, now if he responds back to me in a negative manner, I see your character. Then you just lame because you don't want nobody to say anything. But I literally gave you a problem as a director, music educator, but I also gave you a solution. And I'm offering my time to help you because I know how it feels to be in the trenches as a band director. That's different. That's different. Like what Portia said earlier with her maturity of just shouting in the stands, that ain't gonna help because after a while, you know what the kid's gonna do? And I'm gonna put this out there because it is what it is, and I'm grown. That's real talk, the beef between MSD and the box. It's because you had too many people that were shouting on social media what they weren't when nobody was like, well, how can I help?
I agree. I agree.
That's the truth. Agree. And then it got to a point where it was like, F the box, right? Because we gonna do us. And I respect them more when they had that type of mentality because after a while, you don't want to hear nothing from nobody else. So my thing is the bottom line, bro, is like either you gonna roll with us or we gonna roll over you. Because after a while, the kids, they're like they growing into adulthood. And there's a part of adulthood where you have to have an effort spirit. So that's my mindset when it comes to that. But it's a difference between critique and criticism. Bottom line, I think no one knows the true aspects of what directors go through. We don't know what them kids going through. And real talk, sometimes people really just don't need your help. People really sometimes want to be felt like they're needed. You wasn't that good, bro. It's okay. Reflect over your time.
I had to tell somebody my whole life in high school. That's my career, whatever. I wish somebody would ever try. Well, but anyway, and I had another story on that day. But like my section leader was a girl named Brandy. I could never escape her. My middle school, she was bigger than me. She'd beat me up if I ever applied.
Talking about the one with the bob that was on the move.
You know who? Know her name? If you know Lurch, who played baritone, he kind of known in the band where Texas Southern, big tall guy. It's his sister. You know what I'm saying? Middle school, she was my section leader. I get the high school Katrina come. I go back to New Orleans. She's my section leader again. You know what I'm saying? But she just was good. It came to a point, Dustin, you're just not better than her. Well, you know what? Learn from her. I'm a guy. You know, we just a little different. I can get, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those, some stuff you have to accept. You can't beat them, join them. You know what I'm saying? And then look at me. Well, shit, I know you're not better than me. You ain't better than Brady, but I'm better than you. So you said what I'm saying? So she ain't, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I get it, bro. That criticism, it's more so it be hate, bro. Like it be hate for this guy. I mean, this is how I look at it.
It be people's ego, Justin. That's really what it is. It really be people ego. They can't swallow the fact, like everybody can't be Jordan, dog. sometimes you gotta be a Rodman. And real talk,
but that's an issue. But see, this is why I say that we have to have a conversation that probably stems out of band. Because we have a cultural issue where we are telling kids that everybody can be Jordan.
And that's not reality.
And that's not
reality. Then when they not Jordan and they Pippen, they mad. But Pippen has paid, okay? He is paid.
I'm gonna take it a step further. And if you hate me for this, oh well. Every black person ain't a king or a queen.
Damn,
we were all kings and queens. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, I'm not sorry. We just weren't. Some of us were them people working out there in the fields. Some of us were the people who were just in the village surviving. Everybody wasn't a king or a queen. And that's just the truth. But unfortunately, we're raising a culture. We're raising a culture, and we're also kind of part of a culture in this culture where everybody got to be the leader. I gotta be seen. I gotta be the section leader. I was the hot one. I should have been the drum major. Well, he drum major, but he wasn't that good. I should have been the drum major. No,
but you wasn't, dog. Hold that. That pisses me. I would have been section leader, but you wasn't, bro. Sit down.
And the band director chose somebody else.
And I'm gonna keep it G. I experienced a lot of that because I went from rookie to section leader. And if she only got it because of this. She only got it because of that. But nigga, I had it. And you did not. And I need you to hold that even these years later. And then when I became coordinator, assistant to, she only got it because of this. She only got it because of that. But I got it. And they good.
Put like this, man.
And you still mad.
What people fail to realize is, bro, as a director, and this is what I realized, and the truth is, I never told nobody this. I learned this indirectly from Dr. Zachary. Anything that you build, you have to build it around people you trust. Anything. When I was starting to build this band program that I'm over now, it was one dude that came that was there, Jay Robert. And Jay Robert was there 10 years, never got paid. He graduated from Worthing, marched at PV 2 years, graduated from PV, but while he was still attending school at PV, would drive back to Houston and work on the drum line while they was going through all them band directors. He's the one dude that I trust. Everybody else, I had to test them to see if if they was a part of the culture that I wanted to build. When it comes to section leaders, that's the same type of attribute that a band director has to see in qualities I see in you, because your mess up could affect my job. Because you want to go and have these late night sets to prove a point about your ego, bro. Like when we really boil down and talk about it, everybody can be Jordan. Think about Robert Horry. Robert Horry only averaged 9.8 points his career, but he got but like 7 or 8 rings.
And he came through when you needed him.
That's the whole point. All I'm saying, bro, like when you really start to like open up all of this in regards of band culture, people are mad and are reflecting. We are educators, so Piaget says when you get to a certain point in your life, you do what's called reflect or regret. Many people are 30 years old already regretting their college days because they wasn't the section leader, like y'all saying. They wasn't the person who they're trying to make themselves believe that they should have been, but you didn't put in the work. I used to have a crab brother. That boy used to be in the marimba room practicing 4 mallets all night, and we was roommates. And when I say his senior recital, my line brother and crab brother, Larry and Trice, that dude, when it comes to percussion, he's a GOAT, and he's going to be a GOAT. Has already written 2 books, published 2 books within 2 months. Real talk, ended up getting ill for a week and I was like, what you doing? Oh, I just wrote another book because I was in the house for a week. What? Like, everybody want that shine, but you're not grinding like them people, bro. You're not up reading late. Like, everybody want to be adjusting.
You over there. Hey, Quan. That you. Sure.
Like Justin, but people don't be editing videos like you in the middle of the night.
Yeah, let's talk about that right quick. Hold on. Hey, I never pat myself on the back I'm cocky as shit though. But you see these last few I've been putting out, like that PV joint, that damn Gremlin joint, that hey, I've been in there like, damn boy, hey, that's some smoke. Like I'm about to come to North Carolina next week. I'm putting on the clinic. I'm letting y'all know the smallest school that in North Carolina Central versus Howard game, that damn Norfolk versus I'm putting on the clinic on these damn videos. I said, God damn.
Where you gonna be next week, Justin? Hold on. Where you gonna be next week?
In North Carolina. I know y'all gonna be there. Norfolk that Saturday. The game started at 12. I'm gonna be at 10 o'clock. The next day after y'all game, going straight to North Carolina Central versus Howard, and then Sunday I'm in the back. Oh yeah, it's going crazy. But hey, I ain't gonna lie, I probably impressing myself. I'm like, God damn. I had 2 directors from other schools hit me from college, like, hey boy, you gonna start my game? I said, hey man, listen,
Guess what, Justin? Your gift make room for you, and that's what people fail to realize. Like the gentleman Amos in the comments says, should you pick the best player or best leader? I pick the best leader.
We had that conversation. Go back. We talked about it on the feature too. No. I never. If it happens to be the same person, you are blessed.
Facts.
But I need, when I'm not here, for stuff to shake. And I want the leader in the room, because the best twirler the whole thing might fall apart if I'm not there. I need the best leader, the person that's gonna move this section.
Your best player could be a crappy person.
Did you hear what Jordan said when they was asking him and Kobe? They said, hey, why have you ever considered coaching? They say it would be unfair to the players that I would coach to ask them for the type of dedication that I would expect of them because of how I have it. So if these dudes went to sleep because they had asked Kobe, they say, Kobe, do you ever sleep? They'd be like, nah, I sleep 4 hours. I wake up, I look at film, I go work out. Like when you dedicated to the craft, you cannot expect that from everybody. Like me, like because I'm starting to get this arranging thing right, I'm reading 20th Century Harmony book tonight. That's about 15 pages I'm gonna read. I'm study scoring Paul Adams score. I'm about to study next week, start study scoring Larry Sargent's, the people that we don't really talk about. I'm gonna start studying them so that it's not about other people telling me I'm a GOAT, because if I fall underneath the GOAT status, I can at least be like, man, I tried. Like it's about your own personal dedication to whatever you saying. But if I don't end up being Jordan, cool, but I know I'm gonna end up in the Hall of Fame. Like you gotta know your worth and your value, man. You're supposed to be a great leader. As a director, you're a leader amongst men and women. Man, it ain't got nothing to do with who the best player. Man, can I, like you said, Justin, can I elevate this kid to the next level with this opportunity to make sure that they're productive in society? That's what you want. Bottom line, dog. Like we got egos, bro. Egos.
And Luke, and you was talking about earlier when you like the most viewed episodes, like, you know what I'm saying, like the stuff that really don't matter, but the important topics don't get that many views. I feel like this show alone, like, you know what I'm saying, like I don't entertain everything. I don't, you know what I'm saying. I'm very busy person, but every Wednesday I make sure I tune in. I'm like, oh, these niggas, I don't really have the stuff they say half the time, but at the same time, some stuff they be saying is like, I gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? I could agree to disagree and move on and not be a B word or not be a, you know what I'm saying? And you need to be able to have a healthy conversation and be able to sometimes, like, bro, you may get caught up in your own stuff so much and not trying to hear what people have to say, but it may really be telling you the truth. It may be telling you the truth. And just because they must for this school, you don't respect them or their opinion don't matter. But like, you graduated from somewhere, everybody in this show got degrees. You know what I'm saying? I ain't one of them persons to be like a degree mean everything. I know some people don't have it, but like y'all got some hell of a backgrounds to be able to validate what y'all saying because y'all been through it. Sometimes twice over. You got kids. Luke, I just watched one of your snippets the other day. I forget that she was Micah's band director. You know what I'm saying? You was talking about like, one of my students, Micah. Like, you don't realize she's a legend in the band in the dance world. You know?
Micah Pagese.
Exactly. And Drew, right now, that's one of your kids. You know what I'm saying? Drew is leading young ranger in HBCU band right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, but y'all don't pat yourself on the back. You about flirting on what you do, how you do it. So
it's not my thing. It never was. It never will be. And so much so, and people, I know you thinking. I mean, when I go back, matter of fact, I could tell you a couple of instances where some things have happened. I walked up one day. I don't remember where it was. I think I was at I think it was before. It was while I was teaching at PV, and it was during a Labor Day Classic. And somebody, I think they marched or TSU, came up to me and was like, "Yo, you Julian Luke?" Like, yeah. You went to the Ridge, right? I was like, yeah. Man, all I heard about was you when I went to the Ridge. I was like, oh, for real? He was like, yeah, man, I appreciate everything you did, man. I was like, man, I was just doing my job, bro. Like, thanks, but all right, whatever. That's the same thing I got when I first started going back to Norfolk, and they were like, hey, I went up to the Dizzy room. They were like, hey, man, come into the room, man. And they were like, this the legend right here. I'm like, nah, man, y'all chill. That's not. I just played my horn and did my part. That was it. So that's just my attitude.
The topic right there. People use that word too loosely.
Legend? Yeah. Everybody ain't a legend. But that goes back to what I said. Everybody ain't a king and a queen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, but no, that's just how I am, Justin. That's just my personality. I'm never gonna be one of those boastful kind of people. You can ask Quan to ask me. Quan and tried to pull it at me a few times. Bro, and I'm so like just.
But I think the difference is it's not about the brag, but we want other people to do it. Like, because y'all my family, I'll be like, hey, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to my mama subscribed to Justin. And my mama hate band because I used to play on everything. But she gonna look at a video clip. But my whole point is you brag on your people. You want other people to brag on you. I feel like the ones that's walking around talking about, hey, look at me. Hey, but look at me. Like, you got an issue, bro. Like, why you want the attention on you, and why are you calling for the attention to be on you? That's the issue for me. I want people to seek after my band program, because that's a reflection of my hard work paying out for itself. It ain't me. You know what I'm saying? It's these kids that's making the decision that I'm going to follow Mr. Mitchell and his vision to make this band program better. Or the Silkettes, these young ladies that come every year to be under the leadership of Portia because of the vision that she's giving these people. That's what you want. But all this bragging on your own, that's because you have an insecurity in yourself. That's really what it is.
Let me tell you, boy, ain't nothing like a teacher that can do it. That can do whatever they ask you to do. That's always been real for me, because I was very combative as a kid, and I would challenge you. Like, I was the one like, well, you do it then. You know what I'm saying? Rollins played tuba. A lot of people don't know that. He played tuba, but he keep a trumpet on his desk. Smoke as many cigarettes as a train. Sometimes when it come down time to saying you play this, he gonna play it. He's gonna embarrass you. I don't care if you're a kid. I don't care if you're in the 5th grade or whatever. But if you call yourself trying to outdo me or challenge me, I'm gonna show you. Which he ain't got to show me. He got a degree into everything. But I know it makes him proud to see all of his kids in the band world are like just big names. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I want. I want to be able to pass something on and be like, dang, like Garrett type of, when it comes to video, anybody touching Garrett, I don't care what you say. Because one, I feel like I'm the best person out smoking. I know I'm not good as him. You know what I'm saying? So like if he go, he passed something on to me. Whatever I pass on something to the next person, let other people brag for you. That's a big thing. And a lot of the people who want to be like, look at me, don't have nothing they could technically pass on, because they wasn't really it. Or they probably be it amongst people who's not good. You know what I'm saying? You can't be the best of the junk and expect everybody to respect you. That's not a thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Yeah. And just to go back, like you can ask Drew. Like, talk to Drew and ask him how I was as a band director. Like, I was never that person who felt like I needed to be in the front. Like, even if you go look at PV from 2012 to whenever I left, I was barely in the front. Yeah. Barely. I'm
always in the back, Justin. When you see me,
you don't never see
somewhere. And
I don't see you never see
me. Like, I'm off doing whatever. My job is done by game day. This is their time. There's not a single picture with me and them. That's their time. I don't jump in their photos. That's not my job is done. This is their day. I had my time. You want to see me? I can send you the links to the footage. But this is their time. I don't like all that. I just think it's too much. Y'all know on this show I done talked about other people before. Sit down some damn way.
But if you didn't put in the work Monday through whatever day, that is a reflection of you. So why you gotta stand in the front? If you did what you're supposed to do from Monday to whenever before your game day, then you shouldn't be in the front, because now it's time to show proof. It's kind of like one thing I think me and Luke, we always say the difference with musicians is, and I think Crystal said this as well, our grade is on the field. So if you got an F that week, oh, that F on the field, everybody see it. But if you put in A effort and get an A show, then other people gonna talk about it. Like I was the first. I'm not gonna say I was the first. Let me not say that. But my kids was excited that this homecoming, and one of the best pats on the back this homecoming at Worthing was when the kids was walking down the side to the track. This is the first year, everybody included, twirlers, dancers, and everybody. We have 75 kids total. That's the first time it's been this many kids in the band program in almost 15 years. Now, the people were saying, man, I'm marching 100 back. And I'm hearing the old folks say that, and I got a smile in my chest, but I'm in game mode like, well, bless God, like I'm doing my job, but I'm thankful even more for these kids for trusting me. Lil Flip came out for our show. Local rappers came out for, like, they performed with the kids, bro. I mean, and it was a really good show. So all what we worked for those 2 weeks, those hours of working pie wear, that's when it pays off. All I need to do is blow the whistle and stand to the side. Whatever happened at that point, that's what's gonna happen.
You know that shit tight. Like, you don't got no shit. Yeah, you don't got no care in the world. That gotta be an amazing feeling to know that your work is basically just gonna do itself. And it was crazy that you can still possibly get out there and do it yourself. Or like you done it at a high level. And I don't know, bro. I'm just big on that. Like, I want whenever I have kids and I put them in anything, first of all, I know what I expect. You know what I'm saying? And they gotta be good. So I want them to be with the best of the best of people. And it ain't even about being the best of, it's people who just know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people act like they know what they're doing and they don't know what they're doing. And listen, I know, yeah. When I heard my band director say he don't know everything, well, I looked at him like, what? Like, well, I don't know. Sometimes a kid that gets so good on the instrument that he don't play it, ask them, hey, what that is over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, that is showing me that he's not acting like he's perfect, but he actually is like, know that this person is capable to get the information from them and be able to relate it to the rest of us and show that it's right. Like, you got to have some type of, that's not being humble. It's like, never being scared to ask a question. That stuff like that, let me know you're normal, but the small thing like that, let me know that you are just everything for me. And everybody don't have that capability,
But what you show your kids is that not alone that you're human, but that you're a lifelong learner. That's the difference. Now I have not arrived. I got a man. Like, that's one thing, and I think none of us really brag about. Like, all of us have advanced degrees. Like, we have master's degrees, bro. Like, I got a master's
dissertation. Mine coming May 6th, okay? May 6th.
Oh, are we in that thing? It's already done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we have master's degrees in this, bro. Like, some of us are beginning the process to audition for doctoral school to attain DMAs, but that's not, that paper doesn't solidify like who we are. Like, yeah, I'll be Dr. Mitchell soon. But the thing about it is, I'm still a lifelong learner. I call Luke and be like, Luke, how do you do this, bro? I'll be on the phone and Luke be like, that's the tuba playing around. Be like, yeah, hey, tell him to do this, do this, do this. All right, hey, y'all, do this, do this, do this. All right, cool. What's wrong with that? You telling me it shows a sense of arrogance and ignorance. If I had questions about filmography and I wouldn't call Justin, hey, Justin, I don't know about this, but how do you market this? That's stupid. Hey, Portia, real talk. I need some flags, love. I got you. Hey, side note, Portia, you on our school video, by the way. Yeah, I got to show it to you later. But like, why not use the village around you? That's
because
one thing.
Because we don't believe in the village. We really don't. As a culture, we don't believe it.
Not no more.
Hello. See, I got to press pause on this because we gonna keep going. I'm gonna have to. I'll figure out a way to have it. We're gonna have an off-band topic show one day. We just gonna talk about everything. But I gotta let Chuck in. Chuck been waiting. So Justin, man, appreciate you, bro. We gonna get you one Oh, I got to get you in here for this other topic. So, but yeah, bro, I got you. All right, man. Appreciate
That's the truth. We are tied by game day, so I really be chilling by game day. That's the truth. That's the honest truth.
Facts. Big Chuck.
What's going on,
up?
bro?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. What you got for me?
Good. No, you just said what I was thinking this whole time, just about like, and that's been a question that's been going through my mind this past weekend, because we had an issue at our last game, and I won't go into detail, but what you just said, Julian, like, put it in that. So do we really believe in the village? Like, I feel that, like, folks, and I ain't just talking about kids, talking about, adults in some of these positions. Quan, you were talking about it, leaders of men, leaders of young women, and I know Portia, I could just tell by the way you carry yourself, that's something that you're constantly thinking about, as being an example for your team and for the Legion. And, I know me personally, I try to walk in a space that parents and even the community, will be like, hey, he's leading my kids or this program in the right direction. Are we the best? No. Do we do everything right? Heck no. But like, I'm gonna be honest, just in a nutshell, I had to block my band up and bounce, because of the level of disrespect that was coming from the director, and his kids were feeding into it. And come to find out, this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time. And I reached out to some of my mentors and just asked, hey, am I tripping? I know I'm not a spring chicken, but am I tripping? They're like, nah, you ain't even got to say it. We already know, and so, what you guys were talking about this even just amongst the kids, I think it even goes further, because even the conversation that I was having with this mentor of mine, I was like, the messy stuff that we see on the collegiate level is trickling down not only to the kids, but to the directors. And I had to tell my students, I was like, it's going to be a point that, some of these individuals that are heralded in these positions, they ain't going to have a job anymore. Because all it's going to take is the president or administration or somebody to be like, hey, this is not a representation of our college or university. I take that serious as a secondary educator. I've always done that. And I've always, one of my band directors always say, he'd say, crazy kids, crazy parents, but also he was like, if the band director acting crazy, the kid's gonna follow right behind it. It was even a situation, we had an alum from 1981. It was a former drum major at our high school. We brought him for homecoming. His granddaughter's in my band. And we had him conduct the alma mater. He couldn't even conduct the alma mater because the other band was acting a fool. And we know as HBCU alums, even if it's a school that we don't rock with, you don't play when that alma mater is being played, because there's a bigger picture there, and I'm all for the competition. I'm all for taking the gloves off when it's time to take the gloves off. But one thing I told my kid, I was like, if you entertain a clown, you might as well be part of the circus. And I ain't dealing with it.
Chuck, I'm not laughing at you. I'm
laughing at Mike Scarfinger right now. What he just put in there. I'm listening.
Oh, I didn't even see it. And so I'm just like, again. So when you were talking about the village, like I hate to say it, there ain't no village. It's folks going after themselves, looking out for themselves, doing whatever they can do to get likes and get attention, and we know that that's fleeting, like, butterflies or those little emotions that you get when you first start a relationship. All right, let's see how it is 5 years later.
I mean, honestly, later, and I'm not gonna get too deep on this, because I know I wanted to try to save this, but when it comes to the band culture, and not even specifically band culture, but when it comes to traditional style HBCU band culture, there are more or less cliques than villages.
Right.
Like
right.
and this is no shot to anybody. This is just kind of what I see, you know, with my observable eye. There's the Negro band, you know, approach clique. There's the we went to Southern clique, and then it's the everybody else clique, you know, who's people who are trying to fish to try to find these villages and trying to put themselves in the spaces in the villages. But, you know, I think that it's really very cliquish now. And I don't think the village does exist anymore, because I think going back to a lot of what Kwan was saying earlier, for those people who will try to reach out and try to help out, and there are those people who have those egos who are just not going to take that help. Not from you. Who are you? You went to PV. You went to Norfolk. You went to blah, 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 blah. You went to Savannah State. Who are you?
Right.
You know? And so I think that village just truly just does not exist. But it's definitely cliquish. Definitely cliquish. And I also will say that I think that people are oblivious to the fact that they are in these cliques. I think that they believe that because they're in these cliques, they are a part of said village, and the people on the outside ain't a part of the village, and they trying to get on the inside, and they don't know what they're talking about. I think it's just it's a really big, we got a really big problem. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you know, and you guys have said it before, but us in the field, you know, and in the trenches and building, we know that we're gatekeepers. We know that we're gatekeepers, and we're responsible for the next set. Like, that's what I'm gonna be honest about that situation. Other situation I've seen, that's what bothers me, because the example that's being set and the, I guess, stamp of approval that it's okay to act this way. Like, and that bothers me more than anything. And it's a constant reminder of why I'm in education, you know, as much as I'm like, man, like I'm kind of tired doing this, be honest, but it reminds me, because that bothers me. Like, again, I'm not perfect, but I was fortunate with some really good mentors, you know, from a little kid all the way up. I was telling my students the other day, we can remember, crossing guards. My first crossing guard was my first basketball coach. He was also like over Boy Scouts as well too. Like, this guy did everything, you know, and I was like, man, this guy's amazing. Like, I want to do that, you know. And so, again, like, that's what bothers me. And I don't think sometimes, you know, some folks don't think of the bigger picture. Now, you know, have I had my mistakes? Yeah. But, you know, that stuff can go for a long time. You know, it makes me think of, y'all know these individuals, Portia, probably, I know Julian, you do. But when Tweet and Winter, you know, from the Legion, they came to one of our games. And it happened to be the weekend that we were honoring Dr. Hodge when he retired, you know. And so when they came, you know, they had like a card and a gift card for him or whatever. And, you know, they were really, really, really like respectable, you know, to us honoring our director, even though, you know, Norfolk State and A&T back and forth, you know, but and you can tell when folks were like, I don't want to say raised right, but raised right. Like, they got some home training, like you somewhere else. Like, pay homage and pay respect, or don't say anything at all. But, you know, I don't know.
We were always,
now.
I think that's just, and I mean, you're right how you're raised. We were always taught to respect the other program and the other program's directors. And so, you know, I think that there is that.
Our band directors didn't play that.
Right.
You weren't gonna act
so were ours too. Right. And let me tell you, I didn't know Dr. Hodge was my applied instructor, And our rival at A&T is North Carolina Central. I didn't know that he was a Central alum till like my second year in the band. I was talking trash about North Carolina Central. He's like, "Don't you talk about my school?" I'm like, "Excuse me, Doc." He was like, "Yeah, I'm a 1970-something graduate." I'm like, "Oh, I had no idea." And so, we were taught that as well too. But I just don't see that. I just don't see that now. And folks could be like, "I don't know, you acting like a punk or whatever." Nah, it's just home training. Like, I don't know, man. I ain't with the antics. Let your work, show itself.
Yeah. Yep.
Let your work show itself, your product. And like we always talk about, that field is our stage. So I definitely think this topic is a dope one, and I know you probably, like you said, you didn't want to say too much. You probably got the gears turning, for a future topic maybe related to this, but.
Absolutely.
It's kind of yeah.
Well, it's definitely coming, because I the more we start digging deeper into a lot of these conversations, the more I'm realizing we got a cultural problem as a people, and I think that we need to dive into that before we get back into the band conversation, because I think that if we have a conversation about our people, then we can start navigating this other part of this band world. So definitely we'll have this conversation. I don't know if I'm gonna do it next week or the week after next, but we shall see, bro.
I just want to address this comment about you reached out to me. Listen to me. Let me just show you how many Facebook friend requests that I got. I'll never get through all of these. Okay. Send me a message or something, because I'm still I don't even know how many there are. I really don't. It's like a lot. Like, I think it's like 240 something. I don't know.
That's how many you get? Damn, Portia. Damn.
Stop it, Claude.
Okay.
What I'm saying is,
you said it. You didn't.
The way my life is set up, I don't have time to check all of that. So send me a message or something.
Public announcement.
She said slide into her DMs and send her a message. Don't try to Facebook request her. Slide into the DMs.
That's not what I'm saying, guys. I'm just saying I'm not on there enough to keep up with them. So they piled up, guys. So I apologize. Reach out to me, send me a message. If I can help you, I will.
She said the guys done piled up. Oh my gosh.
It's not all guys. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. It's not. It's a bunch of people.
That's what I heard.
Hot girl.
Lord Jesus.
Hot girl Portia. Hot girl Portia. Hot girl Portia.
Anyway, man.
I need a hot girl.
All right, bro. We appreciate you, man.
All right, y'all take safe. We got 2 games left. I'm ready to be done with this season.
So you gonna get with me after the 2 games then, right? Because I've been home. Man. I ain't saying nothing.
I know you have. I appreciate you, man. I'm just trying to get my life together. Like, I love what I do, but man, I kiss my daughter, give my son a pound in the morning, and then I see him in the evening when I come home. Like, I hate it. I hate it. It bothers me. I hate it. I'm just trying to figure this out. I don't know if y'all ever seen the movie Groundhog's Day. We kept reliving the same. That's how it is for me. I'm in year 16, and I feel like I'm doing the same thing every day, same kids, and I'm just like, I love it, but then there's parts of me that maybe I need to do something else. I'm just like, I'm going through that right now. I don't know what that is. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. But I'm definitely, as soon as these games over, gonna get up with you and we're gonna make this happen.
You're not alone. We talked about that Sean and I on the feature last week, how it's just been a season. So
it's been a season. It's been a season. And for people that has done it as long as us and care, we generally care about the well-being of our students. It's scary to not be with it, if it makes sense. Yeah. It's scary, and so and that's what I'm going through right now. And I'm just like, man, like, what else am I gonna This is what I've known. This is what I've done. If I haven't worked with anybody else's kids, like, So that's what that is. It's just me being transparent. But y'all were talking about GOATs. Y'all saw me with the grip face. I was looking at LeBron like just dunking all over somebody. And I'm just like, man, like consistency, like that equals GOAT to me.
Absolutely. I mean, his team ain't doing much right now, but it's all good.
Nah, hell no. He's doing it by himself.
Hey, we ain't gonna get into that because I will talk about that all day. Anyway, but right. But for real, you brought up something I think that we need to have another discussion about, because that burnout is real. The mass exit is real, and it ain't slowed down yet. As a matter of fact, it's actually getting worse. So yeah, we need to bring that up too. But that'll be another topic, another day, another time, bro. But soon, hopefully. All right, man. I appreciate you, Chuck, man. As always, appreciate the conversation. I'll be looking for you to hear back from you after your 2 games, bro. Trust me. I'm gonna be waiting, sitting by the phone like
all right, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right, bro.
All right, peace.
Yo. All right, man. This has been like a super, super dope, great episode, man. Some things were said. Some feelings were may have been a little touched. It is what it is, and I feel like we got some things off our chest, man. And some people watching, man, they actually felt some things too. So that's the whole point. Shout out to KB, man. I saw that he came through. So man, big shout out to you. Shout out to what you're doing. Let me put this out here, and I'm gonna make it very, very transparent. I don't watch reaction videos. I just don't. I don't. And it has nothing to do with KB. It has nothing to do with anybody. If people are on having a conversation about something, I will watch that. I don't watch reaction videos. I think I said it to my wife the other day. I for me can't understand, and I don't even think it's like what we do in the band world, because at some point there's like a critique or something that's going on within them. But even just reaction videos where people are sitting there just watching it and making ugly faces to it, like I just can't understand that. Like none of that makes sense to me. So I don't watch them. But what I will always do is I will support. I will always support. When I found out about KB, I went and subscribed to his YouTube channel, and I went and followed him on TikTok. So if you find KB on TikTok and you find Talk That Talk, I am following him, because I made sure that I see a brother out there that's doing it. I see a brother out there that's supporting the culture in some kind of way, and I'm going to make sure that I support. So yeah, I heard that, Quan. So that's what I believe in, and there are times when I will go through and peek through and watch certain things. Because I don't want to just say I'm supporting just by pressing the subscribe button, but then never actually looking at the content. So I do, sometimes happen to go through. That's just me, but I will always say, man, y'all support. It don't matter. For me, it doesn't matter, who marched, who didn't march, all that kind of stuff. If somebody is just giving an opinion, brother, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody got one. So if that's the case, if everybody got an opinion, y'all will go subscribe to some random person about a hair tutorial, how to edge yourself up or something like that, and you don't know their credibility. You don't know if they got a actual license, if they got their L's. You really don't know. You just see them on a video and you see them doing it, but you subscribe to them because it looks good. So let's not tear each other down just because of the fact of whatever mess that you done heard. Support them. There are brothers out there trying to do their thing. Period. Point blank. All right. Let's get ready to get out of here, man. Any final thoughts? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying any final thoughts, and I ain't even go around the room. Quan. Oh, as soon as I'm about to say Quan. Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture since Quan wanted to tip out?
I'm gonna take it back old school. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing. Or if you don't know how to articulate it, don't say it. Like, how would you feel if that was said to you? And if you're not willing to put yourself in a position to help, say less.
Well said. Well said. What's my favorite saying? I got a favorite saying? Okay. Amos, put it in there. I don't know what my favorite saying is, but I got a lot of them. Quan, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Yeah, bro. I was thinking about your comment when you said that there's no village. I have to respectfully disagree because I look at us as what we do on this show. You just gonna tip out like that in the middle of me speaking to you?
I'm listening.
I want to see your face. Pause. No, but I look at what we do on this show and what we've become over this time as being a village itself. But I also believe that people choose not to be in villages. I think that's the difference. I had opportunity, today's Wednesday, I think earlier this week or last week sometime. I went to this may be your favorite. What's your favorite donut place, Luke? You from Houston?
It depends. Are we talking about just regular donuts or are we talking about them gourmet daddies?
Regular.
Shipley's.
All right. So I was in Shipley's, original, MLK.
Are you serious right now? Did you really ask me that question?
I just wanted you to say the name. All right.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
all right.
So did we take you to Shipley's? No, we ain't take you to Shipley's.
Next time, definitely go to Shipley's. But went to Shipley's. I'm in line. I look to my left. I see the great Nathan Hamer behind me. Started chopping it up with him. Asked him, to help me score, study, arrange, and he was like, "Well, whatever help you need, I'm down." So I look at it from that point of view as a man that has had one of the best Southern University bands, and I pray that his return to another college job or college job or whatever is still willing to help the quote unquote high school band directors. So I do believe that we still have a village. The question is, do you want to seek other help in other villages? Because we have to be honest. In one village, all of the answers are not there. So you have to go seek. You seek all things that are true. So my whole point is, at the end of the day, the question is not, are villages and still existing at this moment? Are you willing to go find that knowledge from that other village that may have it? So in this band director world, you do not know everything. I learned breathing techniques from y'all. I learned trumpet exercises. I look at the Silkettes in a different manner, some of their techniques and routines. I'm going to set up Portia, regardless if it's Zoom or in person. Well, she like Houston. So in person, to come out and deal with my little backyardigans, then that's what it is. But I still think the village still exists. But the question is, do you want to be a part of those villages, or you want to just be that nomad that's roaming around?
That was deep. That was super deep. Usually Portia is the super deep one, but she ain't give it. She passed her powers off to you, Quan. Oh man, I can't follow that. Other than, man, this has been a great show. I guess that is one of my sayings. Excuses, no, not excuses of like buttholes. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody got one. But anyway, man, this has been a super dope show. Hey, man, if you are watching us and this is the playback, you can always hit that like button. It doesn't slow you down just because it's the playback. You can always go ahead and tap it. Also, you have the freedom to go to the online store, www.realtalk.com. Good Lord, I'm messing up. It's probably because I'm hungry. But you can go ahead and check out the merchandise that we have in there. You are free to grab whatever you want, and you can use the code HBCU band and get 30% off your purchase. Also, check out the Patreon. That Patreon is still up, so go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon. We got some good stuff going on in that Patreon. I have nothing else. This has been a super dope topic, man. We got some more coming, just developed from today's topic. So, man, y'all stay tuned. Hold on to your hats and your butt cheeks and everything else, and we will see you guys next week.